What a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the proceeds stay right here in the province of Alberta, PlayAlberta.ca. And it's a lovely Wednesday on the eve of the Western Conference Final beginning. Tonight, though, the Eastern Conference Final will begin. The Rangers and the Panthers. And I'm telling you, these four teams, there's no Cinderella team here. This is four teams who are very good. Four teams who are all amongst the top 6 in most games played the last 3 years in the playoffs. The Panthers have played the most at 42. The Oilers are tied for second with Carolina at 40. Dallas has played 39, and the Rangers have played for 37. So they got a bunch of players who have all been here in the conference final. This is back-to-back years for Dallas and Florida. Edmonton and the Rangers also the second time in 3 years. They were both here in 2022. So there's really no experience advantage, any of these four teams. Health. Rupe Hintz is banged up for the Dallas Stars. We're not sure his availability for game 1 or not. It sounds like he's going to be ready in the series at some point. Same with Adam Henrique. Adam Henrique, I said it yesterday. It was like a 75% chance he was trending towards game 1. Nothing for sure yet, but Chris Knobloch said for sure he will be in this series. It's just a matter of which game he is going to debut. He was on the ice. He was taking line rushes. He was a regular in practice today, which is a good sign for the Edmonton Oilers. And Adam Henrique, who admitted it was brutal, laughing. He said that it was brutal watching Game 7 because, of course, now he played in a Game 7, scored 2 goals, including the overtime winner, his first time ever in a Game 7 with the New Jersey Devils way back in 2012. But he hadn't been in a Game 7 since. Heck, he hadn't been we had only played 4 playoff games since. I was in 2017 for the Anaheim Ducks. But he's getting in. He scored, of course, in the first round against the LA Kings. Holds the NHL record now for a longest stretch between playoff goals in NHL history. And it's not because he only played 4 games in between. So it's not like the guy was, just on a massive score. He just started out in the playoffs in 2012 and never got back till 12 years later. Yikes. That's a tough run for him for sure. But he's obviously excited to get back in. Just couldn't commit if it was going to be tomorrow or not. Now, he skated today on a line with Draisaitl and Dylan Holloway, but that's because Evander Kane wasn't on the ice. They're expecting Kane. Well, they think maybe. There's nothing to be said. Chris Knobloch just said, you know what? It's all about rest today. Now, could Kane suddenly not play? We know he's been banged up with something. I guess it's a possibility. I can't rule it out. But based on what the coach said, sounds like it was you use the rest as much as you can at this time of the year. So we'll see how it goes. The Dallas Stars won't have Hakanpää, Rupe Hintz, maybe. So we'll break it down. The one thing we'll look at today in that series is special teams will be a factor. And the Dallas Stars penalty kill, which was actually good in the regular season, 82%. Has struggled in 2 rounds of the playoffs. Now, they don't take any power. They don't take many penalties at all. The Dallas Stars are the least penalized team in the National Hockey League. Now, they also don't get a lot of power plays either. Their games have had a total of 4.38 power plays per game. Edmonton's at 6.25. All right, so Edmonton and the team they play average about 3 power plays per game. The Oilers are actually at 3.33, and their opposition is at just below at 2.91. So the Dallas Stars, though, they don't take a lot of penalties. You're the Edmonton Oilers. You've found ways to get LA and Vancouver to take penalties. They got to do it again in this series against Dallas. You play fast, you attack. I think, the Dallas Stars are overall definitely a more mobile defense core than Vancouver had, but they're not nearly as big or as physical. There's no Zadorov. There's no Meyer. Ian Cole was big and heavy. He had a few goals going off him, kind of struggled at times, yeah, but big and heavy. Now, you look at Dallas's defense core, they're mobile. Harley can really move. Miro Heiskanen's an unbelievable skater. right? Lindell, decent. Him and Tanev aren't burners per se, right? Suter's 39 years of age, but none of them are like compared to what Vancouver had. I would think Edmonton, if they want, will have a better chance going to the net. And like you look at Evander Kane, him and Zadorov had a great head-to-head battle in that last series. Right? And we probably didn't talk about it enough about how having Kane around to kind of stand up to Zadorov really helped. But Dallas doesn't present that on their back end. And so can Kane be, run roughshod a little bit more? We'll see. Dylan Holloway. Right? Warren Fogel's got to be more physical. So this series, if you watch any of the Colorado-Dallas games, it wasn't as physical, right? It's a little bit more of a skating series, which on one hand, I think can help Edmonton as long as they limit chances off the rush. That's where Dallas is very dangerous. Now, the Oilers, through 2 rounds, have allowed the fewest high danger chances of any team in the playoffs. They have the lowest expected goal. So, you know what? As we've said all along, you don't need great goaltending. Just need solid goaltending. And Kevin Woodley's outlined it on our show before. Every goalie has some weaknesses. He's going to make a special appearance on the show tomorrow. And we'll talk about Jake Ottinger. And what's he good at? Where can you potentially expose him? All right? Look at, and trust me, if Woodley's recognizing it, that the teams are. Look at the scouting report that Woodley gave us on She Loves. Long shots, round traffic struggles. Look at the Oilers' 2 goals. Now, Hyman, I know he deflected, but that puck barely moved. The Cody Ceci one, we've seen other point shots go in. So what's going to be the weakness of Ottinger? Skinner has a weakness, right? Off of the rush, side to side. Right? That's where teams have exposed him. So Edmonton has done a good job of limiting chances off the rush. That's a strength of the Dallas Stars. So that's going to be the game within the game. Right? You try to take away the other team's strength. Doesn't always work. But that's the goal. No different than Dallas. Edmonton's a very dangerous team off the rush as well. They're going to want to limit their chances. And I'm interested to see the matchup. Rupe Hintz not being out, if he's not ready for game 1, that's a massive advantage for Edmonton. Now, he's going to be back, but like Rupe Hintz, you know what? I know he didn't finish in the top 3, but he was on a lot of people's ballots for a Selke. Like, he's a good player. And man, he can fly. He's a center version of Adrian Kempe. He can really skate. So he's not in. He's been banged up all playoffs. If you look, even when he was in, he didn't play a ton against Nathan McKinnon. So I'll be curious what they do. Hey, Wyatt Johnson, unreal young player. But if I'm the Edmonton Oilers and Johnson's playing with Stankoven and Ben, and if they want to play that line against McDavid, Hyman, and Nugent Hopkins, I'll be like, sign me up. I would take that matchup all day long if I'm the Edmonton Oilers. You're telling me like, hey, I really like Wyatt Johnson, but it's Connor freaking McDavid. That is a matchup I would take if I'm the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll see. We know Lindell and Tanev. Now, it's not as excessive as you think because Tanev played 52% of McKinnon's 5-on-5 minutes, and Lindell was just a little bit higher. McKinnon played 131 minutes last series, and Lindell played 75 minutes against him. Tanev played 69. Now, remember, they only basically play 5 defensemen. Like Nils Lundqvist in the first 5 games of that series averaged like 4 minutes a game. Now, Alex Petrovic got in, and he did play 16 minutes, albeit they went to a double overtime. And the other defensemen were playing 38, 34, and this is 5-on-5. 38, 34, 33. Suter was the next closest, lowest guy at 25. But still, right, it's Petrovic. I looked, I think he was at before overtime. He was at like 9 or 10 minutes. So it's still more than Lundqvist. It was a bigger body. I think they seemed to like him a little bit more. He was their captain in the American League. And then when that series ended, they brought him up. So we'll see. I won't be surprised if they start him in the number 6 hole with Ryan Suter. On the program today, we're going to hear from Brendan Perlini, former Oiler. He's got his own YouTube channel now. It's pretty interesting, actually. He rates former teammates and coaches. Kind of funny, so we'll get to that. Yaremchuk will be by. George Richards will join us. We'll have Speck, the head coach and GM of the Edmonton Stingers. Jordan Baker will be by. Also, it is Who Is It Wednesday today. And our guest is a gentleman who's got a ring in his pro playing career. He played 10 years professionally. It's Canadian. He also, after his playing career is over, he has been a coach for a decade and played for 3 different teams as a professional. Oh, it's a little hint for you on Who Is It Wednesday. So there you go. Also today, now this is a really cool package. We're going to auction off something. We've never auctioned this off before on the show. And I think this, for those of you, this is going to be a lot of fun. So this is for somebody, maybe if you're looking for now maybe you got a really big family, or you know what, maybe you got some neighbors you love hanging out with, or you know what, you're one of the higher ups at your company and you're looking for a company event. So we have 50, that's 50 tickets in the Delta Valley patio for the Riverhawks game on Saturday, June 15th. So those are prime seats right down the third base line. It's right by the Riverhawks clubhouse. So, you know, if you're going to bring some kids there, maybe they want to get the experience, or you do as an adult, you know, you get to meet the players, hang out with them. They, you know, throw balls in between innings and different things like that. Also, part of your group will be guaranteed. You'll have a few people from your group who are guaranteed to be involved in some of the game day contests that night. Can't guarantee you which one. And there are a few zany ones. So you'll need a few people that like to try some fun, different things in the contest. And there's going to be some improv comics that night, as well as the Gopher Museum is coming. Oh, man, that's hilarious. They got some really fun promos in game at the Riverhawks. And so you get 50 tickets and 50 beer bats. Anybody been to the Riverhawks game? That's basically that's like 2 jumbo beers in one. If you haven't had the beer bats, so you get 50 of them. Now, you can bring your kids, obviously, and then you'll still get the 50 beer bats. Obviously, it won't be for every person in the suite if you have some minors. So you can split it however you like. Okay, so it's Saturday, June 15th, 50 tickets, 50 beer bats in the Delta Valley patio. Oh, and by the way, whatever this price goes for today, Delta Valley Landscape is going to match it. So we'll double the donation for charity today. All right, so you bid $2,500, they put in $25. You bid $3, they put in $3. Want to bid more? Even better. So 833-401-1440. If you haven't been to a Riverhawks game, it is quite a party. It's loads of fun. They got a good team. They're being competitive, right? They had the best attendance in the league last year. So this is a hard ticket to come by. And a huge shout out to Mark and everybody at Delta Valley Landscaping for donating the 50. Basically, you get the whole suite in the 50 tickets in their patio, right on the third base line. It's unreal. And you get the 50 beer bats. Okay. The gates will open at 6. First pitch is at 7:05 on the 15th, in case you're wondering. You can make your bid at 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, I watched the Avs a ton. They didn't check much. Dallas did, and it worked. Dallas is not super fast. They have energy, and they punish and run 4 lines. Dallas is quicker than Vancouver. There's no question about it. Knobloch even addressed that today. So I wouldn't say that I never said they're super fast, but they're quicker than Vancouver for sure. I don't know if they're an overly physical team, to be honest. Right? But they pressure you. No question about it. And Colorado didn't pressure Dallas. Now, Colorado, nor is Edmonton's not a real chip and chase, dump and chase type of team. So, they like to be a puck possession team. And when you possess the puck, you're not going to have as many hits. It's just that simple. So we'll see how it goes. 2:17. When we come back, Brendan Perlini will join us. We got a lot more texts coming in. Many of you wondering who's calling. I would guess the Orders in the Star series is going to be the same commentators as the last game. Right? That's their A team, and Edmonton is the only Canadian team left. It'll be Hockey Night in Canada's main group, I would assume, in Cuthbert and Simpson, as they call all their big games on CBC. Quick break. We'll return. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440. You can always text us in our inbox 833-401-1440.
Building or renovating, you want to work with someone who sees and understands your vision. BIE Engineering is a family-owned, experienced structural engineering consulting firm serving commercial and residential clients in Edmonton and surrounding area. Homeowner or large company, they'll work with you to help see your ideas through. BIE Engineering can help prevent problems, deliver solutions, and minimize your risk. BIE Engineering. Request a quote for your project today. Visit BIEENG.com.
The playoffs are wild. We all know that. And this year, Play Alberta is making it even wilder. Make a deposit with promo code Gregor50 to snag a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. Get ready for unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs with 10+ odds boost on every Oilers playoff game. Score a chance to win a pair of lower bowl or even exclusive sweet tickets for an Oilers playoff game just by making a bet on an Oilers playoff game at playalberta.ca. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Gather around the radio, kiddies, for the best time of day. It's Oodle Noodle time. Listen in this week as your noodle hero battles the barbarous Bobby Burger. Now sing along. You know the words. Oodle Noodle time. Oodle Noodle time. You know what time it is now. Get up and give me your best Oodle Noodle dance. Your best time of day is Oodle Noodle time.
0% for 60 months. I'm not kidding. Where? Wolf GMC Buick. And it's GMC's Adventure Calls event. Pick out a new 2024 Sierra with finance rates as low as 0% for up to 60 months. If you're a Costco member, you get another $1,200 off purchase price on any 2024 in-stock Sierra. We're talking half tons, 3/4 tons, even 1 tons. If you'd rather an SUV, we've got low lease payments and an awesome selection on GMC Terrain. So get in today and get your adventure on. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
The Toronto Blue Jays are on Sports 1440. Every weekend, catch all the action with play-by-play announcer Ben Schulman. The Blue Jays, this Saturday and Sunday on Sports 1440. Edmonton's home for all things sports.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Ennio and Jason are friends.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, buddy?
Except when they talk hockey.
Edmonton had all those first overall picks, and they still can't win.
Yeah, but we still beat you. Battle of Alberta champs, baby.
But ask them who makes the best beef jerky in Alberta, and they'll tell you.
Wilhauk beef jerky.
It might be the only thing Alberta hockey fans can agree on.
Pick up some Wilhauk beef jerky today in Leduc, Spruce Grove, and West Edmonton Mall.
A solid financial plan is made up of more than just investments. Investments are an important part, but you need a more comprehensive approach. Vincent Pearson at Weird Pearson Akel & Associates Private Wealth Management understands that. He can help build a plan that includes retirement, estate planning, personal insurance, tax strategies, and yes, investments. Talk to him today and see the difference a real financial plan makes. Weird Pearson Akel & Associates. Call 780-988-4119 or visit weirdadvisoryteam.com.
Cruise through summer with a sleek new Mitsubishi from Cross Mitsubishi.
Explore the largest 2024 Mitsubishi inventory in Western Canada,
including the dynamic Outlander PHEV and the sporty Eclipse Cross.
At Cross Mitsubishi, you'll get 0% financing on all our 2024 models, including the RVR and Mirage.
Plus, every Mitsubishi comes with a 10-year, 160,000-kilometer powertrain limited warranty.
Visit Cross Mitsubishi today and drive your ambition.
9605 34th Avenue and crossmitsubishi.ca.
It feels like the cost of everything has been going up and up and up. That's why Encore's electricity rates are getting really low. With our rates falling lower, you can feel carefree about your bill.
A low rate means lower stress.
Switch to a new fixed-rate electricity plan with Encore by Epcor and save.
Get the lowdown
And stay carefree at encore.epcor.com/lowdown. Customers are free to purchase natural gas or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822 toll-free.
It's officially spring, but when the snow melts, the grass will grow. You'll find a wide selection of Echo spring cleanup equipment at the Lawnmower Hospital. From grass trimmers and chainsaws to log splitters and multi-tool systems, all backed by Echo's outstanding 5-year consumer warranty. Make spring yard care a breeze with Echo and the Lawnmower Hospital. LawnmowerHospital.com.
We're more than mowers, the Lawnmower Hospital.
Oh, j'aime mes cheveux.
Yellow blues voye Velocia.
No kami. Psycho.
Translation: I love my hair, and Dr. Vance Elliott is the reason why. He's an authority on hair restoration procedures, and not just in Edmonton. He teaches other doctors around the world how to perform successful hair transplants.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott, and I want to be the reason why you love your hair. Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Oh.
In Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. How you doing as you're getting set to prepare yourself for the conference finals? Second time in 3 years. Now, I don't know who's going to win the series, but I'll say this very confidently, the Orders aren't getting swept. I do not see the Orders bowing out in 4 like they did in 2022. Now, you had Leon Draisaitl banged up. You had Darnell Nurse banged up that year. And frankly, I think even if they were fully healthy, they probably would have won a game, but I don't think they would have won the series. I think that's fair to say. Colorado is a really good, deep team. And Dallas is a good team, but Edmonton's better in 2024 than they were in 2022. I think they got way more depth. I think they got a better defense core top to bottom. Guys like Evan Bouchard in 2022, same player by name, but not the same player in experience and performance. So I think they're a better team. And this should be a hell of a series. I don't think there's an obvious choice either way. Some people are going to pick Dallas. Some people are going to pick Edmonton. That's fine. I can see making a strong argument why both teams would win. The Edmonton Oilers, one of the keys is going to be they got to get Dallas to take a few penalties because their penalty kill right now is struggling mightily. 69% so far through the 2 series. And it wasn't like they've just had 1 or 2 bad games. It just hasn't been good. They don't take many penalties. That's the other thing. So it's not like they have one game that really goes off kilter. They haven't had more than 3 times shorthanded in any one of their 13 playoff games. So be prepared for that. Don't think there's now they've had a few games where they had 4 and 5 power plays, right? The Oilers have had 40 power plays in 12 games. Dallas has had 31 in 13. Now Edmonton's taken 35 penalties in 12 games. Dallas has taken 26 in 13. Dallas averages basically 2 times shorthanded per game. It ain't a lot. The Oilers are just under 3. So that's you know what? You got to be disciplined for sure because their power play is good. Edmonton comes in at 37%, best in the playoffs. Dallas is 4th at 29%, which is very good. So we'll see. We're going to get to around the NHL. Brought to you by Mick McDonald's, where summer drink days are on right now. You can get the small McCafe iced coffee or Coca-Cola for only $1. Or do you love the orange? Maybe you like a root beer. So do they. It's all for $1 right now at McDonald's plus tax. Of course. Now, I look at, we're going to be joined by Brendan Perlini in a second, and we do have game 1 tonight, the Panthers and the New York Rangers. Panthers are in the, they were in the Cup final last year. The Rangers lost in the conference final in 2022 to Tampa Bay. What's interesting about these teams, all 4 of them in the conference final, they all have, well, in the case of Florida, they've never won a Stanley Cup, but they came into the NHL the same year that the Rangers won the last Cup, which was in 1994. So both of those teams haven't won in 30 years. The Oilers haven't won in 34 since 1990. Dallas Stars haven't won since 1999. So none of them have won in this century. But all of them have been in the Stanley Cup final in the salary cap era. The Oilers in 2006, the Rangers in 2015, Stars in 2020, and the Panthers last year. So the both organizations, are all 4 organizations, have had decent success lately. I think they all are confident they can win. So should be a hell of a series, man. Both of them. I'm pumped to watch both, to be honest. Sometimes that isn't the case in the second round. But I think both of these matchups are very intriguing. Now, we'll go around the NHL, joined by the 12th overall pick in the 2014 NHL entry draft, played for the Coyotes, Blackhawks, Red Wings, and the Edmonton Oilers. Is now doing some stuff. He's got his own YouTube channel. Brendan Perlini joins us. Brendan, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
Yeah, great. Good to see you again. Hope all is well with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man. Appreciate you coming on. So, tell me, I guess, give me your thoughts. How's do I call you a YouTuber? Is that the official term now? How's that work?
I don't know. It's just kind of, it's a hobby thing right now. It's something to do away from the rink and the arena, and kind of started a little bit last year there, and yeah, it's gone pretty well so far. So I don't know if I'm official YouTuber, but you can call me whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Now, part of it that you do on there is you tell stories and you rank like former teammates that you played with and some coaches on different things. Have you got any feedback from your former teammates or coaches on your rankings?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was like, as far as the first episode goes, that was the first one that I knew it was going to sort of make some waves, kind of doing that, because you never really seen anyone from our industry like in that sort of space on YouTube doing their own stuff. So, yeah, I knew that was going to make a little bit of noise, and received actually a lot of very good messages from guys across the league of that I actually like kind of want to be almost a part of it, and especially a part of, I'm doing the golf side of things too.
Yeah.
So guys really want to be a part of the golf side almost more than the hockey. But yeah, it's been good. It's been really good so far, and that's kind of the first one. The last episode was I did my worst NHL injury, which was I got a skate through the nose, almost lost my eye. So kind of behind the scenes, everything is based almost like behind the scenes here.
Yeah.
Of really trying to kind of pull that curtain back of what people, they see us on the ice, they see us on TSN or Sportsnet or whatever doing, interviews and stuff, but they don't really know what goes on behind the scenes, so how equipment works, just little things, how waivers work, how a trade works, and what actually happens to you in that process. I've been a part of all that stuff, so I'm really kind of trying to break things down for people and just, shed a little bit of light behind the scenes.
Oh, people love information. I thought it was very good. And, it's interesting because I know some people are always looking for salacious stuff on guys and it'd be easy to throw someone under the bus, but I'm not sure that's the best one. And it's more so looking for some good stories, like if you rank your teammates on who is best dressed, worst dressed, who's the funniest guy, different things like that. Like, who of all your former teammates did you find was like the most quirky or really specific about their stick?
Oh God, I throw myself into that, category. Really, yeah. I mean, myself, like Duncan Keith. I think I kind of learned like almost from Dunks. Obviously, played with them in Edmonton and Chicago. There's a lot of guys who are really sort of quirky with it. I mean, they've like, I've grown up with the same pattern, my whole life. So I almost kind of like, you get to pro and you get to the junior level at least, and now you have all these options. And for me, there was never, I just used my brother's sticks. He's 5-6 years older, and he was college and pro at the time, so I would just get whatever he was using. Now I have access to use Hose's curve or Taze's curve or whoever it may be. And I'm like I was always under the I guess thought process of try everything, because something might be better than what you currently have. You never really know. And some guys don't really believe in that, but I would always mess around and try stuff in practice. And I don't really like dunks is on a on that sort of level, always switching sticks, always different feels. Sometimes you just use something and you get bored of it, and it, as weird as that sounds, it like, I don't know, you just your feels change kind of daily. Sometimes I need to cut it like a little bit shorter, sometimes a little bit longer. It's very like, and this is the thing with behind the scenes, people just think like, oh, you go play hockey, whatever. Well, it's super monotonous. We do the same thing every single day from September for whatever, 9 months, right? Every single day you're at practice doing the same drills probably too. And so it's like a monotony of like, you seeing the same thing every day. And sometimes I would just grab a new stick and use Draisaitl's stick just to see something different, So hopefully
did you ever try that big paddle in practice? Seriously?
Oh yeah.
How is that?
And funny enough, like a guy, he's still with Bakersfield there, Bugsy Malone. Like Bugsy Malone took Draisaitl's paddle one year in the playoffs because he thought, I'm going to give this thing a shot. And he ended up making his own pattern with a bit more curve off of that big paddle. So it's funny how something can work like that, right? But I actually liked it. Like you have a big, like, you can throw really good sauce with the backhand because it's straight as an arrow. But I don't think many guys can use that. That's for sure.
No, Brendan Perlini joins. It's interesting. Adam Oates, I had him on my show, and he talked a lot about, like, because I know you incorporate golf into your show. And he said, well, think about most guys who will go get, a multiple hour-long golf fitting to ensure they get the right club. And very few hockey players have ever done a similar fitting for their stick. Right. Yeah. And, he was very, in his words, kind of anal about his stick. He worked on it all the time. He was big on, and it depends on certain guys, the lie. And are you bent over? Are you more upright? The stiffness of your shaft. If you're a defenseman, is probably going to be different than a winger shooting off the rush and different things like that. And, he even said that there's lots of guys that don't even know kind of like the simple basics on what you should look for. Like, we can get to a curve after, but like even the lie and different things like that. Like, did you become more educated on what type of stick works for you? And did you notice a significant difference in something when you changed?
Yeah, definitely. First off, I agree 100% with what Oatsy said. I've never worked with him personally, but know that he's big into that. And, I think even with McDavid, it changed McDavid's curve and whatnot. So I guess to answer your question, as far as like the lie and all that stuff, like my dad was a pro player, obviously, and, educated us on that, when we were young. So we always use a really flat lie. I liked something that was always out in front of me. If you use a highlight, it's like in tight. And he didn't like that. He wanted us to be lower skaters, so everything was more out in tight. He used like a lie 7, which is like very,
oh my God.
Standard is around like 6-ish, and 7 is like right up, because in his day, Sittler, Solomon, all those guys were like straight up. That's how they played. And so we were always around a 4.5, almost a 4, and very low. And over the years, like the game is actually, since when I came in the league in 2016, as it got in like 17, 18, 19, and then closer to around 20, it started changing. You've seen Kucherov had like a breakout year around like that 19-20-ish when he like led the lead in points or whatever. And he started like a lot of the Russian guys always use toe curves, but now it's about like they have like a pocket. So here, the puck can kind of sit in. And I noticed like more and more guys, and I think Oatsy, that's kind of a little bit, part of his philosophy. And it's really kind of shifted to that. So I sort of moved like I was always the standard curve was the sacking, right?
Yeah.
So we had a low lie sacking. Me and my brother always use that. And then when I left Chicago, I took a couple of Tazy sticks, and he had basically, it was like the same sort of thing, but it was a little more flick at the end of the toe. And during COVID, when we were on the break and nobody was playing and I first started skating again, I just randomly, it was like one day, you know what, I'll take out a couple of his sticks and try them. I loved them. And my brother was using it at the same time, and we both kind of switched at the same time. We thought, this is great. Like, feels similar lie to our other one, but a little more toe. And so, yeah, that's what more guys now are kind of going towards the toe curve, because you talk early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s was like all heel curve, the old jury curve, you know, on the East Energy. So, it's that's what I've noticed. It's really kind of changed here in the last couple of years. And myself has gone more towards that toe side, and even getting a little bit higher lie. I used to, when I had a high lie, like I would miss the net high, boom, it would just shoot straight up. Right. Don't ask exactly why. I'm not sure. I've always, like I said, I always played with the low, but when I would go to a high lie, it would just go straight up. And now I did like a half a degree and then another half a degree. So little increments as the years have gone on here. And like, I seem to be a lot more adjusted now. And you can kind of stand a little bit more straighter up, and, instead of always having to be like crouched down and low to the ice, So there's benefits with everything. I can go on for days about this stuff.
Brendan Perlini joins us. Brendan, of course, you played this year in Charlotte with the Checkers, and you probably know the Florida Panthers. I want to get your thoughts on the Panthers and the Rangers. We've got 4 really good teams here left, but give me your thoughts on that Panthers-Rangers series and how, like the Panthers got a lot of skill, but they also got a lot of bite in how they play. Do you think are you expecting them to kind of, go after the Rangers a little bit here physically in this series?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see them going back to the finals again. And I sort of I knew that even going into the playoffs, like they got such a deep team as far as you look at the roster and forwards and even on the back end, and obviously a great goalie too. So, I mean, they're very well-rounded. From what I heard, inside the Panthers organization, Maurice, I wasn't at Florida's camp. I went to Carolina's camp. But Maurice is apparently, guys love him as far as a coach goes, which is great. Because sometimes it may seem like, this coach is very good, but the inner workings, guys don't like him or whatever, but guys seem to really, really respect him and love him. And I heard that the same in Winnipeg too, when he was in his time there. So it seems like a recipe for success. I don't really know as much obviously about the Rangers. I'm kind of obviously they had a really good year and whatever. I don't really know what to think about them. I'm leaning more towards Florida because I know that side. That's kind of my thoughts on things, at least on that Eastern side.
Now, it's been a few years, of course, since you played with the Edmonton Oilers, but obviously you know the players fairly well. Their top dogs are still their top dogs. And, Dallas is a very deep team, although Rupe Hintz, unlikely to start the series, probably come back at some point. Miro Heiskanen's an unbelievable defender. What do you make of this Edmonton-Dallas series and maybe how different it's going to look? Vancouver and LA didn't really try to attack very much. Right, they wanted to sit back and kind of wait for your mistakes. Dallas is much more of a pressure team. Do you think that benefits Edmonton, or is that more of a concern for the Oilers?
I'm saying, you know what? I think this is Edmonton's year. The funny thing is, I'm actually after the season. Well, I say after the season, end of June-ish. I'm in a bachelor party, and Scott Wedgwood, who's with Dallas, is in that bachelor party too, and in the wedding party and stuff. And I'm actually I think that Edmonton should smash them. I don't even think it should be close, which is kind of funny. I mean, I haven't really told him that personally, but I think, honestly, I think this is their year for me. I don't know. I just got a feeling about them. I think, McDavid's, he seems like he's on a good roll. He seems and the team around him, even though I think this last series may not have been the, McDavid show per se, every game, right? But they got by that. They got by Game 7. That builds a lot of character, and I think they got this is their year, at least in my eyes.
Now, give me your thoughts on Great Britain's performance at the World Championships. I saw your brother scored a Gino there. You know what? How's hockey growing there in Great Britain?
Yeah, you know what? Obviously, they got relegated again, back down, but it's kind of almost like to be expected. If they stay up, that's like winning the tournament for them. So, you know, it was kind of a weird year where actually the other conference, like the other side, they group them into like Pool A and Pool B or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
All the other teams like were weaker in the other side. There was Kazakhstan, France, which they would have had a good chance to beat, you know. So I feel like their division with Canada and a bunch of them teams, it was kind of too strong for them this year. But my brother had a good tournament. He finished the last game yesterday, had 1-1, and then the game before scored as well. So hopefully for him that like helps in contract things over in Europe and stuff. But I think it's like, you know, it's tough, I guess, seeing them get to the point like when they're in the top division, it's great. It sort of sucks seeing them, you know, get blown out 8-10-0 or whatever it is. I don't think that really helps at all. But when they play against the Canada or they play against the USA or whoever it may be, like in those top countries, it just kind of uplifts everyone, you know, and especially for those players. And like it's just a new experience for all those guys to play at that higher level. Like even my brother played college hockey at Michigan State, played in the minors, American League, East Coast. But when it's at that level of, you know, he's playing against Bedard and these guys, he was like, holy cow, like this is another pace. And I had to kind of tell him like, hey, actually, you know, sometimes I skate too hard. You need to like slow it down and just bring it to your level of whatever your level is, you know?
Now, could you qualify to play for Great Britain?
I don't think so. No, because I played for Canada in the World Juniors. Right. And then somebody told me, and I think like I looked up the official rules a long time ago, and it was something like in the WHF, you would have to go play in the domestic country. So I would have to go play in England's league for like 4 years or something, and then I'm eligible, which I don't have any plans on. Yeah.
That's not happening. You're not going to go play in the Britain League. Well, hey, maybe you can chase some of your dad's records over there. Who knows?
Yeah, no, I'll leave that to him. That's his thing. So the only reason I would ever really like, you know, and this is not a knock on, you know, anything to do with the team or anything like that, but I would love to play with my brother at some point. You know, that would be really cool in pro hockey to do something with him. Maybe we can get on the same team somewhere down the road here. But also, you know what? I'm doing these YouTube things now and all that. And I was kind of looking at my parents. I'm like, I'm having fun doing this stuff right now too. To be honest, I don't even want to be over there playing in that tournament anyway. I had my kind of years doing my stuff in the NHL. I'm having fun doing this other stuff right now too.
Brendan, where's your YouTube channel if anybody wants to check it out?
Yeah, just type in my name on YouTube, Brendan Perlini, or at BubsP11 on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Amazon, you name it. I got everything. So, yeah, you know, search me up on any one of those, and I'm sure you'll find some links to get to my YouTube stuff.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to the next episode. Really appreciate you taking the time and joining the conference finals.
Definitely. Yeah, thanks again for having me. I really appreciate it. It's good to see your face and catch up again.
You betcha, man. That's Brendan Perlini. And honestly, if you were looking for a very interesting kind of different YouTube channel, check it out. Brendan Perlini. It was quite insightful. He talked about coaches and players, and you know, just kind of had a different ranking system. Gave you a little bit of insight into them. So you'll want to check that out. When we come back, Yaremchuk will join us. We'll deep dive on the Oilers and the Stars. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Adventure Calls event is on at GMC. Get the 2024 Sierra 1500 Elevation at 0% financing for up to 60 months. Plus, eligible Costco members can receive a $1,200 bonus on select trucks. With Sierra's available 5.3-liter V8 engine plus more cargo bed volume than any competitor, you'll have everything you need to take on any project this season, like building a brand new doghouse. That's a lot of wood. How big is this dog? Visit your local GMC dealer for details.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Gather around the radio, kiddies, for the best time of day. It's Oodle Noodle time. Listen in this week as your noodle hero battles the barbarous Bobby Burger. Now sing along. You know the word. Oodle Noodle time. Oodle Noodle time. You know what time it is now. Get up and give me your best Oodle Noodle dance. Your best time of day is Oodle Noodle time.
Mr. Rooter does a TED Talk.
Thank you for coming today. Let's talk about it. Pressure. Everyone in this room feels pressure. But let me tell you something about pressure. I'd rather feel too much pressure than not enough. You know why? Because low pressure often means you have corroded pipes, impaired water lines, or a calcified shower head. And who needs that? I'm Mr. Rooter, and this has been my TED Talk.
For an inspirational plumber, call Mr. Rooter.
For a limited time at McDonald's, enjoy the tasty breakfast trio. Your choice of chicken or sausage McMuffin or McGriddles with a hash brown and a small iced coffee for $5 plus tax. Available until 11 a.m. at participating McDonald's restaurants. Price excludes flavored iced coffee and delivery.
Sports 1440 has added another player to our lineup. Tonight, from 6 to 9, check out Turn Sports with your host, Navin Romerick. Edmonton's exclusive home of sports talk is now rolling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Hey, Leduc, can leading edge physiotherapy help you? Well, this is a question I face every day. Let me answer the best I can. Do you have a pain or injury to your toe, foot, ankle, knee, hip, lower back, middle back, neck, shoulder, elbow, wrist, hand, or finger? Are you dealing with a sprain, strain, fracture, tendonitis, bursitis, arthritis, dizziness, balance issues, surgery, whiplash, or headache? Okay. I can't list all the problems that we can help in leading edge physio in under 30 seconds, and I can't promise we fix everyone. But I can promise that we'll combine our experience, skills, technology, and hands-on care to give you an edge. Life shouldn't hurt. Find us at leadingedgephysio.com.
Building or renovating, you want to work with someone who sees and understands your vision. BIE Engineering is a family-owned, experienced structural engineering consulting firm serving commercial and residential clients in Edmonton and surrounding area. Homeowner or large company, they'll work with you to help see your ideas through. BIE Engineering can help prevent problems, deliver solutions, and minimize your risk. BIE Engineering. Request a quote for your project today. Visit bieeng.com.
Hey, $250. Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. How are you? Gregor, Connor Halley with you. 833-401-1440 is our email inbox. You can text us. We'll get to the oil report now, brought to you by Volvo Cars, Edmonton.com. Canada's #1 Volvo dealership, where right now you can get leasing at 0.99% or get an additional $4,000 off select vehicles right now at Volvo Cars, Edmonton.com. As Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff joins us. It's the Oilers and the Dallas Stars, and I think it's safe to say this will be I think it's going to actually be a more entertaining, fast-paced series than what we saw in the first two. I think it'll also be more of a challenge for the Edmonton Oilers. I think Dallas is a better team than either the Kings or the Canucks. What is your most intriguing storyline that you are watching in this upcoming series?
Most intriguing storyline. I think just from a pure storyline perspective, it's honestly, what are we going to get out of Connor McDavid? I think, he definitely wasn't at 100% for that series against Vancouver. Everyone, heard him after the game with Dan Murphy on the ice. His voice sounded all hoarse. There's something nagging him. I think even if there is an illness, there's something on top of that nagging Connor McDavid. They didn't get a lot of time off, so it's not like we can sit here and say, what'll he look like after 4 or 5 days rest? But if Connor McDavid can be a little bit closer to 100% or the old classic 110% video game mode Connor McDavid, then he has a chance to take over a couple of these games and make a massive difference. Not that he isn't going to make a difference regardless. He's Connor McDavid. But I think in a series where it's so tight and the margins are so thin, McDavid being at 80 or McDavid being at his all-world self will be a really interesting difference.
Yeah, I think that for sure. Well, the other thing is I'm very curious about the matchup. Like, there's no JT Miller, especially with Roope Hintz out. When Roope Hintz is in, that'll be fascinating. Although I looked, and even when he was playing, he didn't play a ton against Nathan McKinnon. I know he got banged up late in the season, and I wonder if that's a guy, even before he got, knocked out of the series, if he had some nagging injuries, and so they were limiting who he was playing against. But Wyatt Johnston's a phenomenal young player. But if the matchup is going to be Johnson with Stankoven and Ben, if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, I take that all day long on the road and say, hey, Connor McDavid, if he's not 100%, I'll take him against a young player like that.
Yeah, I'd even take Leon Draisaitl against that line, and just trying to watch a younger, it's not like Wyatt Johnston's coming in at 6'4" either, right? Like a younger guy trying to keep pace and get around the big body of Leon Draisaitl in the offensive zone, I think would be a matchup that benefits the Oilers. And I was chatting with Brian Ray. He's on the Stars broadcast. Was talking with him earlier today, and he talked about the domino effect of not having Roope Hintz, and how before Matt Duchene was on that third line with Marchment and Dadonov, and it was really, really good. Marchment and Sagan. Sagan was over on the wing. And he talked about how Duchene was insulated, and he elevated those two guys next to him. And now you've moved Duchene up to a second line where he's got to be a bit better defensively, take on some tougher matchups. He's not exactly great in that area of the game. And now you have a third line where Sagan's back in the middle. He's not as dominant there as good as he's looked on the wing this season. So the domino effect of Hintz is interesting, because you mentioned I'll take the Draisaitl or McDavid against Johnston matchup. I will also gladly take a McDavid or Draisaitl matchup against Matt Duchene on the second line.
Yeah, well, that's the one thing that Edmonton possesses that Colorado didn't have and Vegas didn't have. They don't have the league's leading point getter on their second line, right? Like Leon Draisaitl, to me right now, and I noticed a few places they did like the halfway point for the Conn Smythe, and most have Draisaitl number one. He's been phenomenal for the Edmonton Oilers, and not just offensively. Like his defensive reads, it's some people might look at it simple play, but a really good read to knock the puck out of the zone. Vancouver there late in that game, rather than let the seam pass go through him. He wins key faceoffs. He's battling through injuries as well. He's banged up, but he's getting better. He was on the ice today. Everybody was on the ice except Evander Kane and Troy Stetcher, which is odd, but not that it matters. He isn't going to play. But I look at Draisaitl, Kane, and Holloway. Adam Henrique is close. It's not for sure if he'll play game one, but he's getting very close. I think at the latest it's going to be game 3, but could be either on Thursday or Saturday. If he comes in, where do you slot him in, and who comes out, and how does it impact your lineup?
So obviously Henrique's got to go into the top 9. I'm not touching the top line. I'm not touching the second line with Holloway, Draisaitl, and Kane until they give me, if I'm Chris Knobloch, until they give me a reason to split them up. But I'm not touching that. So I think Henrique goes on the third line. And we saw for some stretches this season during the 16-game winning streak, Ryan McLeod and Warren Foegele were a very productive wing duo. When they moved McLeod to the wing, his offense picked up a little bit. Now you could maybe sit there and say, okay, was his offense picking up because you put him on the wing, or was his offense picking up because he was playing on Leon Draisaitl's line? And I think that's fair. But I think what I would do to start is throw Henrique down the middle with McLeod and Foegele on his wings, and I would probably knock Derek Ryan down to the fourth line. And as much as it's maybe unfair because I think he's playing well, I would keep Sam Carrick at center, and I'd move Connor Brown out of the lineup. He's been good on the PK. He's been buzzing a little bit in the offensive zone, but I still think he's the odd man out. And when it comes to comparing him or Sam Carrick, I like the idea of a guy who's a little bit tougher to play against, hits a little bit, and can win you draws on the right side.
Yes. No, I don't think there's any chance you're taking Carrick out. I think he added a lot of he added a little juice to that line. The one thing as the playoff goes along, that I would look at, and I agree with you. I would have Henrique on the with Fogle and McLeod. Both of those guys got to get going, though. There's no question about it. Like, you can't just be solid defensively. At some point, you got to chip in a little bit here offensively. Like, the fourth line's done. Like, they got a few goals, dating back to the first round, and then Janmark and Brown scored. Janmark scored from Brown, but the one player, Corey Perry, you know what? We all know he's not fleetest of foot. That's all. But his style of play is he's a cycle player, and McLeod isn't a cycle player, and Fogel's not a great cycle player. If I was going to put Corey Perry back in the lineup, I would put him in the lineup and play him with Janmark and Carrick. And I think that's the best chance you have. I think he can cycle better than Connor Brown. I know Connor Brown's a better penalty killer, but if you have Henrique, you've got a penalty killer. You even have Sam Carrick if you need it. I know that means that then you might take Derek Ryan out. I mean, you might move Ryan to center because I know they really like him, but Corey Perry with Janmark, more of a cycling winger, or Carrick, I think would give you a better chance for him to help you. He's not going to play game one. I don't think he wasn't on any of the four lines right now. And, his foot speed's not there, but he just doesn't gel with McLeod and Fogle because neither one of those guys cycle the puck.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. It would be intriguing to go with that fourth line. The only thing is, and you mentioned, you have Carrick who can kill, you have Henrique who can kill, and they're good at it. I just feel like Derek Ryan's been exceptional on the penalty kill. It feels like every time he's out there, he's finding a way to knock down a pass or get a big clear. So I'd be hesitant at first to move him out, but also, you're not just going to come into the series and run the same 12 forwards, regardless of Henrique's health. There's going to be points where you need a bit of a jolt and you need to make a change. So yeah, could Perry succeed with Carrick and with Janmark? And Janmark, like you said, good on the cycle. Carrick has actually gone to the net pretty well since coming back into the lineup. He had a couple of near misses right in front of the blue paint in both game 6 and game 7. So I'd be open to that. I do think at some point you roll the dice on bringing back in Corey Perry because there is a bit of upside there. Like, we did see him score at a 17, 18 goal pace during the regular season when he was with the Oilers. So I'm all for bringing back that upside, but I'm not messing too much with the lineup that won you game 6 and 7 yet.
No, not yet at all. I think, and then there's obviously the major question mark will be in goal. Jake Ottinger, we're going to have Kevin Woodley on the show tomorrow with a scouting report on Ottinger. He's done a lot on Skinner, so we know what his strengths are. We know what his weaknesses are. You look at Edmonton in the postseason, they've surrendered the fewest high danger chances. They have the lowest expected goals. Unfortunately, their goals against doesn't match that. Gotten better in the last few games, but Stuart Skinner doesn't have to stand on his head. He just needs to be consistent. I thought he was fine in game 6 and 7, and he might not get tested a lot. I think Dallas will test him more than Vancouver, though, for sure. But Stuart Skinner, to me, comes down to a big one. He doesn't have to steal the Oilers games. He just can't lose them a game.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, I did, a bunch of people said this, but during the Vancouver series, like, man, if he would have just been 870 or better, or 880 or better, they were fine. And even in game 7, that was ultimately the case. But he's definitely going to get tested more. And I even just look at the skill that's in the Dallas forward group, never mind the way they play. Like, Vancouver just wasn't getting a lot of great opportunities. And when they were, at times, it was, think about the first period, Ilya Mikheyev in all alone. Well, I mean, you knew Ilya Mikheyev wasn't going to score on that. He's, as Frank says, he's where scoring chances go to die. On Dallas, you have guys who can finish, a lot more guys that can finish. There's not going to be a Pius Suter type in the top 9 or a Mikheyev who's in this big, long slump. So Skinner's going to have to be better. I don't think 880 will even get the job done. But like you said, he probably doesn't need to be 930 or 940 for them to win. If he can just give them kind of passable B+, 9-10 goaltending, I think that's all you really want out of him, and it's going to give the Oilers a chance to win. On the other side, solving Jake Ottinger, again, as much as goaltending wasn't an issue for the Canucks, I thought Shelov's was totally fine, at moments great. Ottinger should be great the whole way. He's a guy who hasn't stumbled a ton in these playoffs, so I think there's also a bit more pressure on the Oilers to generate even more high-quality chances and looks than they got on Shelov's.
Who are you picking?
I have Oilers in 7. My cup final prediction at DFO when the playoffs started, and I think it was actually at the start of the regular season too, I had the Oilers beating the Rangers, so I can't move away from those two quite yet. And I'll say this, maybe this is a Play Alberta thing, parlaying together both series to go 7 games. I feel like they're both going to be marathons.
They're both going to be intense. It should be great. Looking forward to it. Ty, enjoy it. Enjoy Dallas.
Thank you very much, Jason.
There you go. That's Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Face Off. It's 3 o'clock. We'll get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update. We'll come back with Who Is It Wednesday? Grey Cup champion. Played for 3 different organizations. Been coaching on the offensive side of the ball for a decade. Also won the Tom Pate Award in his career. We'll get to that more after the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Get up to $5,300 cash purchase credit on a 2024 Sierra 1500 Denali Ultimate. Plus, eligible Costco members can receive a $1,200 bonus on select trucks right now at your Alberta GMC dealers.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
We've got Eastern Conference final action tonight. Panthers, Rangers meeting in New York. Puck drop just after 6 o'clock in this one. Off the ice, Jim Hiller will continue to coach the LA Kings after having his interim take removed on Wednesday by Vice President and GM Rob Lowe. The Kings were 21-12 and 1 in the regular season under Hiller after Todd McCullum was fired on February 2nd. Kings were eliminated by the Oilers in the first round of the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. In the association, the Western Conference Finals gets going tonight. Timberwolves and Mavericks meeting in Minneapolis. That one's starting at 6:30. Major League Baseball today. The Jays are in action, taking on the White Sox once again. First pitch set for 5:07. Also, the Mariners up against the Yankees. Rays host the Red Sox. Rangers take on the Phillies. Dodgers meet the Diamondbacks, and the Rockies up against the Athletics. Finals from earlier today had the Nationals falling to the Twins 3-2. Guardians double up the Mets 6-3. It was the Angels over the Astros 2-1, and the Royals got past the Tigers 8-3. Right now, in the top of the 7th, the Orioles trail the Cards 4-3. PCHL Alberta Division Final. You got the Crusaders in Brooks battling the Bandits. Brooks leads that series 3-1. And in the WNBA, the Fever take on the Storm. Caitlin Clark likely to play with an ankle injury for the Fever. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, it's another edition of Who Is It Wednesday. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
The postseason is always exciting for hockey fans. But for GS, it's all about construction season. For 50 years, GS Construction has been laying the groundwork for your community, but they can't do it without the best team possible. GS Construction is scouting for experienced and motivated laborers, pipe layers or pipe layers helpers, lead hands, operators, top men or women, and a water and sewer foreman. Apply today and start working for the 2024 construction season. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
The playoffs are wild. We all know that. And this year, Play Alberta is making it even wilder. Make a deposit with promo code Gregor50 to snag a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. Get ready for unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs with 10+ odds boost on every Oilers playoff game. Score a chance to win a pair of lower bowl or even exclusive sweet tickets for an Oilers playoff game just by making a bet on an Oilers playoff game at playalberta.ca. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot.
And Molson Canadian for $4.50.
OTR's TVs, they're so clear.
You'll see the puck better than the ref.
Plus, every game night during Edmonton's playoff run gives you a chance to be part of the Sack Attack.
You could win a Hyman jersey.
This is our year.
And our time to cheer.
Be a part of the legend.
On the Rocks. On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave 118. Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Heavy hauling in the worst of climates can be dreadful. Take the stress off the job with AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers. They redefine heavy hauling with premium heavy haul trailers designed, manufactured, and battle tested in the harshest of conditions. And if your heavy haul trailer has issues, their full service and frame inspections will tell you exactly what's wrong and why. They take the guessing out of repair work
scoring
with
chances go to die.
frame repairs
On Dallas,
get you back working quick. Discover the difference at AccuSteel.ca.
Christensen Communities, the name in active adult living. Enjoy retirement living without compromise. At Christensen, we understand that each lifestyle is unique. We are committed to providing choice through optional dining, personal services, recreation programs, and care plans to suit your current and future needs. Enjoy maintenance-free living and build new friendships in a safe, independent community. Large suites with full kitchens and in-suite laundry, on-site amenities, and so much more. Find out more today about our communities across the province at cdlhomes.com.
It's officially spring, but when the snow melts, the grass will grow. Tame your yard with the help from the Lawnmower Hospital. Live on an acreage? Save up to $2,000 and get 0% financing for 36 months on select Toro zero-turn tractors, OAC. For smaller jobs, go for the Toro Super Recycle. With personal pace and electric start, make spring yard care a breeze with Toro and the Lawnmower Hospital. LawnmowerHospital.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Christensen Communities, the name in active adult living. Enjoy retirement living without compromise. At Christensen, we understand that each lifestyle is unique. We are committed to providing choice through optional dining, personal services, recreation programs, and care plans to suit your current and future needs. Enjoy maintenance-free living and build new friendships in a safe, independent community.
Thank you very much.
Large suites with full
Thank you
kitchens
very much,
and
Jason.
in-suite
There you go.
laundry,
That's
on-site
Yaremchuk.
amenities, and so much more. Find out more today about our communities across the province at cdlhomes.com.
Just after 3 o'clock, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. The Eastern Conference Final begins tonight. The Rangers and Florida Panthers. Go to playalberta.ca. You can, hey, if you want to use the promo code Gregor50, it's Gregor50, and you get a free $50 wager with the minimum purchase of $5. You can go on that one. Or, hey, you just want to get your tickets for Lotto 649. Feeling lucky? Why not? Somebody's got to win. It might as well be you. PlayAlberta.ca for a one-stop shop. It's estimated $52 million tonight in Lotto 649. Ooh, nice. Now, let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the FSL, which is a new league starting in the fall for female hockey players. 12U and 14U allows them to further their development. If your daughter fits the bill, you want her in, go to femalesuperleague.com. And we are joined now. It is a Who Is It Wednesday. Our guest, a Grey Cup champion, was part of 3 organizations, but as he pointed out in studio, he's hurt with one, so he'll say he was with 2 organizations. Also won the Tom Pate Award in the CFL, went to Simon Fraser University, has been coaching for the last decade, a little bit at the junior level and a lot at the University of Alberta with the Golden Bears. Rick Walters joins us. Rick, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Look at you all dressed up, eh? Nice. What do you think, it's wintertime out there? Just like a trench coat on? Oof. Need a toque still? What's happening? Because I used to watch you practice.
Yep.
And it would be like, I'd be standing on the sidelines. I'm wearing shorts and I'm sweating. And there's Walters out there. He's got a full sleeve on, pants. Like you, do you like running hot or what?
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
I have to stay warm. Even on, I've noticed it even more now being on the sidelines, and players are out with shorts and t-shirts. Not a chance. I gotta have a jacket, toque, hat. No, gotta stay warm.
Like even in the summertime, man.
Oh, even in the summer. It's funny because if it's cold outside and I'm cold, it's straight running plays the whole game. I'm just trying to get out of
it. Just impacts your play calling,
100%. Get me out of there as quick as I can.
That's so you would never be like the old lineman. Like you must have been like, how do those guys do it? I remember those practices and even the games. It's -20 and they're out there, no sleeves.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. Even now, whenever I see them and I don't understand it, I'm not sure who they're trying to impress, but I would never have done that. Our crew, a lot of our guys when I was playing would never have done that.
Yeah, there's no chance.
No, not a chance.
No, like zero. Who do you think was like who is the toughest teammate you ever had? Like mentally tough, like would block out all this stuff, or maybe high pain threshold, one of the two.
Maybe Tim Princeton.
Oh yeah,
maybe old lineman, of course, has to be Canadian old lineman at that. So, yeah, maybe Prinny. Yeah, he was good for that stuff.
Do you have a meanest teammate?
Oh, there are a lot of jerks that we had as teammates.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's start there. Who's the biggest? Well, were you here when Mashtub was here?
Yeah.
Okay. Because he's probably number one.
Right at the top.
El Mashtub has to be number one. Like I don't know if there was ever a teammate that I seen that was more disliked by his own teammates.
Yeah, I would agree. If it was a back alley and you're having a fight, he'd be the first guy you'd probably jump on. Yeah. Not even a right away. He'd be the first one.
Now, is it because he was like kind of like brown nose to the coach? What was it that made him so unlikable?
Yeah, a little bit. He was up Coach Matthews' butt all the time, but I think it was more his pompous attitude that kind of drove people crazy a little bit. He was from the East Coast of the country, and so there was a lot of East Coast bias in terms of how good everything was out there. So he was just a different dude. He didn't fit real well with the guys that we had on our team. But it made like this is like 20, 30 years later, and we're still talking about him. So
no, but it was just funny because I've covered sports for 20 plus years, and it was the one team on any I never met a group of guys who were like, yeah, that they just didn't like him. Like it universally, right? Because some guy might be like, maybe, he doesn't get along with one guy in the team or two guys, but other guys like, no, he's all right. There was not one player I've ever met who was like, no, he's a good dude.
No, not at all.
It was just kind of weird. So, and we'd like to go back kind of to start out. And, how old were you when you first got into football?
I was, when I first started playing, I was in grade 10, really. Grade 10 I started. So I started really late. I was more of a soccer, basketball guy. So I started at Archbishop O'Leary High School on the north side. And it's kind of funny because the first day of practice, I didn't really even know it was a football practice. I was coming to school early from junior high, and the football team was going out, and a couple guys asked me if I wanted to go. And so went, put the equipment on completely backwards. There was a tailbone protector that I thought was supposed to protect the front part of your body. So I had it on that way, and which made for a lot of laughter when I was trying to run, and it's kind of rubbing all kinds of stuff.
Basically, like you're
there.
bagging yourself.
Yeah, the whole time. So it wasn't a great start to my football life for sure.
So you go to your first practice. You'd never played football before, right? You're an athlete. No. You're right. You know how to run, did track, basketball, soccer. So were you a receiver right away? Or how were your hands? I'm guessing that would have taken a while to learn to catch.
Pretty good hands. I was they put me a running back, so I was a running back.
Were you fast?
I was fast.
Okay.
I was fast. Try to find the sideline as quick as I could. Especially coming from Jamaica. I wasn't used to getting hit. So
when did you come to Canada?
When I was about 8 years old.
Okay.
8 years old, yeah. So moved to Mississauga, and my dad was in when he got here, kind of got into the oil and gas industry as a welder. So I moved to Edmonton soon after.
Now, so growing up in Jamaica, did you do a lot of your running barefoot? Because I know, I remember watching the documentary on Usain Bolt and all those guys, and a lot of them were training barefoot all the time.
Yeah. You didn't have a whole lot of money. Jamaica is basically a third world country, so you didn't have a whole lot of money, and you kind of made do with what you had. And so, you might keep a pair of shoes for a long time, and if they weren't there, you like you said, you kind of ran barefoot.
So you come from Jamaica, as Rick Walters joins us. You got into Mississauga. What time of the year did you move?
It was just June.
Oh, okay.
So it was actually a funny story, but I won't get into that. It's a long story. But it was June, and so I was good with Canada. June and
July,
Canada,
and especially in Mississauga, it's pretty muggy. You're like, hey, this is great.
Absolutely, it was fantastic.
Yeah, that much has changed pretty quick though in September.
Quickly, once September, October hit, Yeah, I tell the story all the time. We're in a kind of a gymnasium the whole day, and so hanging out there the day, and then we run to the front of the school, and then bam, I just stopped. Never been so scared in all my life. And what had happened, it had snowed outside, and I'd never seen snow before, and so there's all this white stuff lying on the ground, and I kind of just stood there, paralyzed, frozen, and this little stream of pee started to come down my leg. And I kind of peed myself there, and all the kids looked and they started laughing and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I ran.
You're in grade 3.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what grade you're in. It was a scary sight. So anyways, my mom had to come get me. She was pissed though, because we're new to the country. She had to come from work to get me. It wasn't a good thing.
So how many siblings do you have?
I had just me and my sister.
And she older or younger?
Younger sister.
Younger. So you're the older brother.
Yep.
You come to Canada. Never been here before, so then you adapt to that, and you played. So you never tried hockey?
No, just road hockey.
Okay.
And I'd like to call myself as the Black Wayne Gretzky. So that is how I was labeled.
Is that how it was? Good hands?
100%. Yeah.
But you never tried. Have you ever tried skating?
I can skate.
Okay.
A little bit. Some might question how well I skate. But
Okay.
I can skate.
Yeah. So you never were one of those guys because the Elks the Elks used to have like a team of players.
I played.
You played in that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, so you can skate somewhat.
Yeah. No, for sure.
All right. So not bad.
No. I can.
Did you score?
You know, vision. Great vision. Great vision. Lots of assists.
I can see the play. I
Lots
just
of
might not
assists.
be able to make the play.
Lots of assists.
Okay. All right. So then, you get to high school and now you're playing football for the first time.
Yep.
You said, okay, I'm a running back. I'm running out of bounds. When did you make the transition from running back to receiver?
Not till the CFL, in all honesty. So I played, I really thought I was going to continue playing soccer, post-secondary, and soccer, basketball, loved basketball. But I was probably obviously the better at football. So I ended up.
But you love soccer more?
Love soccer. Probably love basketball. It probably was basketball, soccer, football.
Really?
You know.
Okay.
Yeah. So I ended up going on a whole bunch of recruiting visits. Decided to go to SFU. Played 4 years at SFU as a running back. Started from as soon as I got on campus. They had a lineage of great players there. Like Orville Lee was there a little bit before me. Sean Millington was had just left when I got there. And so there was a ton of great Canadian guys that had went out to school there and played there. And it was a great time there.
So when you got to the CFL, did you get tried out at running back, or was it like instant no chance you're a Canadian? Because back then they didn't have a lot of Canadian running backs, if we're being honest, right? When you came out, right? So Millington got a little bit of time, but John Cornish, I think, kind of started to change it a little bit. Now, way back in the day, Normie Kwong, and you have others for sure. But in your era, Canadians, there was still at the time where Canadians were the offensive lineman, the kicker, and you might get a linebacker, right?
Yeah.
And then the receivers, right?
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of guys.
They moved you right away to receiver?
It was during training camp, and they realized I had pretty good hands, and so the similar thing came up. It was either you bulk up and become a little bit bigger and play a fullback, or you slim down a little bit and play receiver. And because I had pretty good hands, they asked me what I thought, and I said, yeah, that fullback position is not for me. That's not for me. That's not.
You don't want to be Blake Marshall or Matthew Bertrand.
No. That smashing heads all the time was not for me. So I moved to receiver. Partway through my first year, after training camp, they kind of moved me over.
And you played a lot of special teams your entire career.
A lot of teams.
You were also a very good blocking receiver. I remember, Ed Hervey and other guys talking about how, Rick did a lot of the dirty work that a lot of the guys didn't like to do.
Sure.
How'd you become a good blocking receiver?
I think being a tailback, in all honesty, because you're blocking, linebackers coming up in A gap or B gap, and they're a little bit bigger than DBs, and so blocking the defensive back. And I would say that, and playing soccer and basketball, really.
Really?
Just the ability to move your feet.
Because a pick and roll kind of thing?
Just side shuffle, playing defense on somebody. So if you're in the open court and you got to pick up full court, you're really just moving your feet, and so you kind of learn how to do that. And so that became blocking. And then it's important for, especially now, especially then, all of the Canadian guys to be able to play well on special teams. That was kind of your way to get into the league and onto the team. And if you could do that well enough and showcase what you had from an athletic standpoint, eventually you're going to get a chance to actually go on the offense or defense. And so it was really, really important that special teams was a big part of who I was.
Rick Walters joins us here on Who Is It Wednesday. We'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk about the Grey Cup years with the green and gold on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook.
Lower your Audi, value your Volkswagen, baby your Beamer. But some of that love fades when repairs take several days and tons of cash for the dealership to do their magic. Let Cochran's Automotive rekindle the flame. They'll professionally repair your import, usually in one day. Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, Honda, and Toyota. Cochran's Automotive will return her to mint condition. Open at 7 a.m. Let Cochran's Automotive repair your automotive air conditioning before things heat up. Cochran's Automotive, 780-452-5001.
A solid financial plan is made up of more than just investments. Investments are an important part, but you need a more comprehensive approach. Roger Weir at Weir, Pearson, Akel & Associates Private Wealth Management understands that. He can help build a plan that includes retirement, estate planning, personal insurance, tax strategies, and yes, investments. Talk to him today and see the difference a real financial plan makes. Weir, Pearson, Akel & Associates. Call 780-988-4119 or visit weirdadvisoryteam.com.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene.
Sign up today at playalberta.ca.
Look at you all dressed up, eh?
Actions speak louder
than
words. Japa
It
Machinery
was
Group
really,
puts your
really
construction
important
plan
that
into
special teams was
action
a big
with
part of who I was.
XCMG construction
Rick Walter.
machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot.
And Molson Canadian for $4.50.
OTR's TVs, they're so clear.
You'll see the puck better than the ref.
Plus, every game night during Edmonton's playoff run gives you a chance to be part of the Sack Attack.
You could win a Hyman jersey.
This is our year.
And our time to cheer.
Be a part of the legend.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Jasper Avon 118th.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And I'm Zach Hyman. And when we're not making juicy, sweet passes or having my goals disallowed, we're working for Legacy Heating and Cooling. You know, guys used to call me a plumber, and now they call you an AC repairman. Nice.
Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the jingle.
Oh.
Well,
okay. Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year from qualified installers. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
What's cracking at Cattail Crossing? The Mixed and Mingle League. Join Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club every Thursday as they pair up males and females for a fun and social round of golf. Only $33.30 all season long. Details at cattailcrossing.ca.
For over 65 years, Dedham Ford has delivered the customer service and value that keeps Albertans moving. And that tradition continues with the all-new 2024 F-150. Lease one today with $1,000 down and pay just $299 bi-weekly, taxes included. That's the value you've come to expect from where cars always cost less. The F-150 $299 driveway lease, only at Dedham Ford in Wetaskiwin or at dedhamford.ca.
Jump into spring with a leap of faith and a special offer from Trademark Concrete Lift and Leveling. Book now and enjoy a 10% discount on our concrete lifting, void filling, or foundation services. It's our way of saying thanks for choosing the experts in elevation. Don't wait. Spring special is on for a limited time. Visit trademarkleveling.com or call 780-691-LIFT. That's 780-691-5438. Trademark Concrete Lift and Leveling, where your ground gets a new lease on life.
Then it goes a little something like this.
.325. Welcome back. Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook. It is Who Is It Wednesday. And our guest, of course, Grey Cup champion, long time, played a decade in the CFL. Rick Walters joins us, came to Canada when he was 8 from Jamaica, was in Mississauga, then eventually moved to Edmonton, started football, didn't know anything about it in grade 10, then went to Simon Fraser, where they're actually playing American rules football at Simon Fraser, which is probably good for a running back because it was, 3 yards and cloud of dust back then.
It was. It absolutely was.
Yeah.
And you got to bang your head a whole bunch. If you ever intro me again, can you just throw in the black Wayne Gretzky?
Oh, yeah.
Intro?
You want that the next
Please,
one? Okay.
please.
Yeah. The black Wayne Gretzky road hockey. Okay.
I appreciate that.
Well, actually, no, I can't because we have a rule on the show. There's no self-proclaimed nicknames because Sean Brown wants to call himself Brown Sugar, and that doesn't happen.
It doesn't fly.
Yeah. So I'm not,
Okay.
I'm not sure we can do it because it's like, does anyone else call you the black Wayne Gretzky?
I think I've heard it a couple times. Yep.
Like outside of your house?
Maybe not.
No, maybe not.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm
okay.
not sure we can. Now I want to get to, so you came to Edmonton, you signed as a free agent. You'd been in Saskatchewan for your first 5 years.
Yep.
Don Matthews, you're kind of your first time through free agency. Take us back to free agency in 1999 and how Don Matthews was able to convince you to come to your hometown.
You know what? He just talked a lot about providing an opportunity, how he wanted to help kind of reestablish what green and gold looked like. He was coming in. I think they had a couple kind of down years before he came in. And so he talked a lot about reestablishing the culture and his culture, which is a very unique culture, but reestablishing that and bringing in his guys. He's very big on his guys.
Yes.
So
were you one of his guys?
Shockingly, I was one of his guys.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'm not all about his lifestyle, but
No, you're not the big bravado
No,
kind of,
no.
loud, aggressive party type guy.
No, I wasn't about that lifestyle, but I was one of his guys. So which was good. There was a crew of us who came in at the same time. Like Terry Vaughn came right in at that time. Ed Hervey was in. I think Kez came in that year as well. Kez McCorvey.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really good guys who came in right at that time.
Well, yeah, you guys had for a 4-year period there. You had some of the best receiving cores in the green and gold history. Really, when you have Vaughn and Hervey, you met Kez McCorvey, Tucker, obviously Mookie Mitchell.
Yep.
Like you had some really good receiving cores over those years. But now, so you come into to the green and gold, and your first year, guys, wasn't great, but then you started building. Your team was good. But then Matthews got fired because I remember this is my first year where I was covering the team. I'd started in January of 2001, working part-time for John, and then I got a full-time gig when I was done school. And my first gig was I said, hey, I kind of want to be a beat reporter for the green and gold. And training camp that year was out at Nemeo in Griesbach because there was all the renovations going on at Concordia.
Yeah.
So it's out there and it's like a tarped off area and everything. And I remember, it was like, maybe I'm a rookie reporter and it had to be like 6th day of camp or something. And all of a sudden I show up and they're like, and Tom Higgins is going to speak today. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, Don Matthews is fired. And I was just like, holy cow. I'm not an experienced guy here, but I'm like, this seems like odd timing to me. How was it as a player? What was the feeling in the room when all of a sudden your coach gets canned during training camp, which I can't ever recall that happening before or after?
Yeah, I think we had the same kind of mindset and feeling about it because we thought that, especially after that first year, kind of growing pains, that we're growing as a team. Coach Matthews had kind of built the team the way I know. Coach Higgins was the GM at the time, but Coach Matthews had obviously had a lot to say who the players were, and so there was a lot of uneasy feelings, especially that first day when we were told that it was going to be Coach Higgins taking over because, we didn't know Coach Higgins as a coach. We knew Coach Matthews as a coach and the way he wanted you to play and the bravado he wanted you to bring and the energy and the levels and stuff like that. there's lots of Donisms that
Yeah.
even now that I find myself saying and kind of repeating, some that are have a little bit of color to the explanations. But even for the time period, he impacted on a lot of guys, some good ways and some bad ways for sure. But it was a unique time watching somebody get fired right in the middle of training camp.
Yeah, it was very weird. And then at the end of that season, at the Grey Cup in Montreal, that's when he got hired.
Yep.
For them. Now you go from Matthews, who was, now he's an excellent coach, X and O's, right? Like not everybody got along with Don on how he approached things, but he was an unbelievable X and O's coach, big on special teams and stuff, great defensive guy. What was the biggest adjustment to Higgins?
Everything was different. Everything was different. Don ran his schedule, and again, he was more of a person who had the pedigree and the history that everybody kind of he had a big fit in, or
get out.
He had a lot of dinner on deltas, and so if you weren't his guy, he was it was next man up kind of deal. If you were his guy, then he'd let you make mistakes, and he wanted you to feel empowered and what that looked like. So at the time, when the first year, Nealon was the quarterback, and Don would ride or die with Nealon.
Yeah.
Tom, not so much. Not so much.
Now, who was Don the coach when Nealon Green forgot his contacts before the game in Saskatchewan?
I believe he was.
Oh my God. That's still one of the most amazing stories to me is he didn't have his contacts. So you wonder, like, why is he missing all his throws? Like,
we had Don was the coach when we went down to Calgary, and we had this great idea that we were going to we had Leo Groenwagen.
Yes.
He was a center who had really good eyes, and we had the signals from Calgary's team at the time, and so he was going to look over. So Leo, his job, and kind of our game plan, which was goofy in itself, was Leo was looking over and would look for what the defensive coordinator was going to call before we'd call our offensive play. So we got there and we'd huddle up and we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. So the defensive coordinator finally calls his call and there's like 10 seconds left. So we try to sprint out. We had like 10 time count violations in the first quarter. We're like, what the front door is this? This was our game plan the whole week. And we're like, what kind of game plan is this? This is terrible. We got our backs beat out of us that week. So anyways, we stopped doing that. That was not a good plan.
Yeah, like Leo Groenwagen is probably thinking, like, are you kidding me right now? Like, holy cow, that's part of my job title I don't want. That is unreal. Okay, guys, what are we gonna? Well, we're gonna wait to see the defense.
Just wait to see
and I wonder if the defense eventually catches on to say, well, we're just gonna delay.
We're gonna sit here and wait. They probably were a little bit smarter than us that day.
Yeah,
clearly.
Yeah, a little bit smarter for sure. You move on, and then you get to a 2002, and it's in Edmonton. It's the Grey Cup. I don't think I've talked to a guy about this, but were the players ever? Did anyone say to Fleming, just kick a rouge? Like, was that ever discussed?
You know what? I think it was that was a tough one on lots of levels because he was hurt and he had got hurt the week prior and he couldn't do it. And I'm sure he has lots of thoughts about it over the years, and he just couldn't kick or to go through the kicking motion.
Yeah, but they kept punting like for field position. It seemed all the time.
Yeah, there were some. Again, everybody becomes a great coach after the fact, and it didn't work out the way we expected it to. It's one of those games that you think you should win, and you have lots of reasons to win it. We for all intents and purposes, we believe we had a better team. But they were the ones who won, and a big part of that was not being able to have somebody who could kick a field goal.
You also, the conditions were brutal that day, super slippery,
yeah.
Right? How much, do you remember, what did Dwayne Mandrusiak do to help you guys get better footing on that day?
Dwayne's a boss, man. He's the dude. And so he had been through a lot of years with this. And so, our shoes were done the right way. Done the right way.
Staples in your shoes?
Well, we had So I think they were nails. Some guys had nails. Some guys had screws. There were things that would help you stick a little bit better into the turf. And like I said, Dwayne was awesome at knowing field conditions. Didn't matter what stadium it was. And Dwayne was a lot like Don. Was if you were like his guy, he did whatever. Like he'd kind of.
But how could you not? Like you must have had to treat him bad to not be one of his guys.
Elmer Stube wasn't one of his. Wasn't one of his guys. So yeah,
that is not surprising.
No.
So you lose. Then you went back in 2003. You won a super cold day in Regina.
Yep.
But when you came to camp, that like you've been in the league now, what 8 years at that point, 8 or 9.
Years, yep.
So veteran, you'd won playoff games, all that stuff. Losing the Grey Cup. Was it that significant of a motivator for the team next year? And did you notice something different right from the start of the 03 training camp?
Yeah, 100%. I think everybody had recommitted to what it to being together and what it took to win playoff games and to become a Grey Cup champion. I think it left for a long time a bitter taste, especially when you think you're the better team. It's what that looked like. And so regardless of what was going to happen, we were going to win games. I would actually put that 03 team up against anybody, in all honesty, over the history of any of the Eskimo teams, Elk teams, and in fact, any of the CFL teams. I think that team was loaded with guys, loaded with talent. We had a young Ricky Ray at the time with Jason on the team as well. Receivers were off the charts and running backs were great. O-line was good. Defense was great. And that was the blackout year as well in Toronto. And it really didn't matter what happened throughout the year. We knew that we were going to end up in Regina, and we knew we were probably going to play Montreal. And we knew we were going to win the game. It really didn't matter what happened along the way.
Give me your first impressions of Ricky Ray. When he came, nobody knew anything about him. I think he was the fourth quarterback that came into camp. I think he came in right at the last or 2 days before training camp in 2002. I think it was. Did you see something right away, or did he even surprise the guys, once he got into the game?
He was quiet, didn't say a whole lot throughout training camp. As I like to say, I was the one who made Ricky Ray because it's true, though, because the first exhibition game he played in, some of the starters had to stay in, and I was one of the guys who had to stay in, and I ended up with 140 yards receiving that game. And so, as I like to tell him, if I hadn't had those 140 yards, you might have been Frito-Lay Ricky Ray and went back to the States and sold chips. But first impressions was just super accurate. He kind of understood the Canadian game real quick. He picked it up pretty quick and then was just always accurate. Everybody always talks about he would throw the most catchable ball, and he would. If guys were on your left, he'd make sure to put it over your right shoulder. If they're on your right shoulder, you put it over your left shoulder. Corner outs, it didn't matter. He just had this knack or just crazy knack of being able to put the ball wherever the other person was and a defender. So he always kind of just threw you open.
He also, the thing you probably don't know about a quarterback till you see him in action was that guy could take a hit and get right back up and never, I can sure some quarterbacks get annoyed if the guy's getting beat all the time, but man, it was after you retired, but man, the 2007, 2008 years, that guy took an absolute beating. But there's just certain quarterbacks that can take it.
Yeah. And he it's amazing to see all quarterbacks when they get hit, their percentage goes down. His would have went down slightly, but not as much as the others. And the greats do that. If you look at Brady, same thing. His percentage is going to go down when you're getting hit, but not like the other quarterbacks. Like the other quarterbacks are going down from like a 70, 75% passer to all of a sudden they're like 50, 55. Ricky would have went down a little bit, maybe 5, 10%. Same with somebody like a Brady, but it's not like the other quarterbacks.
You finish your career, and then when we come back, I want to get into you've been coaching for a long time. No longer, though, so we'll talk about that decision next on the Jason Gregor Show with Rick Walters here on Who Is It Wednesday, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Alberta is making it even wilder. Make a deposit with promo code Gregor50 to snag a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. Get ready for unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs with 10+ odds boost on every Oilers playoff game. Score a chance to win a pair of lower bowl or even exclusive suite tickets for an Oilers playoff game just by making a bet on an Oilers playoff game at playalberta.ca. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Your love for strawberries is very passionate, you say. Just wait till you get your next taste of Booster Juice. The new Strawberry Blush Smoothie made with strawberries, bananas, vanilla oat, and vanilla frozen yogurt will make you fall in love. And there's no tea like the Strawberry Serenity Teaser, a blend of strawberry juice, green tea, and honey. And for a tasty treat to pair perfectly with your berry obsession, the Strawberries and Cream
Rick
Booster Ball
Walters here on
has
Who Is It
returned
Wednesday.
like your favorite
Presented
dream.
by PlayAlberta.ca.
Visit a Booster Juice near you today or download the Booster Rewards app.
The Adventure Calls event is on at GMC. Get the 2024 Sierra 1500 Elevation at 0% financing for up to 60 months. Plus, eligible Costco members can receive a $1,200 bonus on select trucks. With Sierra's available 5.3-liter V8 engine plus more cargo bed volume than any competitor, you'll have everything you need to take on any project this season, like building a brand new doghouse. That's a lot of wood. How big is this dog? Visit your local GMC dealer for details.
Move Water is your one-stop shop for all things water. From freshwater to wastewater, we've got the pumps and solutions to keep your water moving where it matters most.
Move Water, your water solution experts.
Visit movewater.ca today.
AccuSteel heavy haul trailers have been providing highway and off-road custom trailers for over 25 years, bringing you innovative solutions for unconventional problems. They're your industry leader in engineered heavy haul trailer frame repairs, retrofits, rebuilds, and custom trailer fabrication. When you need to haul the largest machinery on the planet, they can do it with a premium engineered heavy haul trailer made right here in Alberta. They're 100% family owned, treating you like part of the family. Trust the experts at AccuSteel heavy haul trailers. Learn more at accusteel.ca.
For 50 years, GS Construction has been laying the groundwork for your community. But they couldn't have done it without building their employees from the ground up. Many of GS Construction's employees started without any industry experience at all. But because of such programs such as GS's Next Person Up, they've gone on to become valued members of the team. If you want to join the team as a laborer, pipe layer, or pipe layer's helper, lead hand, operator, top man, or woman, or water and sewer foreman, visit gsconstruction.ca.
This spring, the savings continue at The Brick. Take up to 40% off furniture and mattresses, as well as the chance to scratch and save up to an additional 40% off your purchase. Plus, you'll have the chance to win great prizes, including a $10,000 Brick shopping spree. Find amazing deals on kitchen appliances and save up to $400 on sofas so you can prepare your ultimate game day snack and then watch the game in style. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
It feels like the cost of everything has been going up and up and up. That's why Encore's electricity rates are getting really low. With our rates falling lower, you can feel carefree about your bill.
A low rate means lower stress.
Switch to a new fixed-rate electricity plan with Encore by Epcor and save. Get the lowdown and stay carefree at encore.epcor.com/lowdown. Customers are free to purchase natural gas or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822 toll-free.
Clear up some garage space and keep your tires in prime condition at Windermere Chrysler. We offer convenient, on-site seasonal tire storage that ensures your tires are safe, sound, and ready when you need them. With every service visit, enjoy a complimentary tire and wheel alignment analysis, plus a thorough car wash and vacuum. Trust Windermere Chrysler to maintain both your vehicle and your tires to impeccable condition.
The choice is clear.
It's Windermere.
Visit windermeredodge.ca.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway. We're looking for adventure. And whatever comes our way. Yeah, I'm gonna make it happen. Take the world in a loving place.
3:45. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Rick Walters with you. Another edition of Who Is It Wednesday. Hey guys, I played with Rickett O'Leary. He was awesome. He used to run with all the Hoggies in practice. Our O-line coach would get mad at us for being slow. From Sheldon. Jeez, just out in your O-lineman, eh? Looking quicker.
Tell Sheldon I said thanks for that.
Hey guys, Rick was the best athlete to come out of O'Leary. Great basketball player from Bill. Ooh, because you must have been able to. You must have had decent hops because you must have been able to dunk.
Yeah.
What was your best part of your basketball game?
My passing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. I'm just asking.
I told you Black Wing Rescue.
Well, that's not
Dude, you
street
think I'm
hockey, dude.
lying.
Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
what are you, Magic Joe? Why don't you say like the Magic of O'Leary?
I could go.
Give
with
yourself
that.
another
I like that one.
nickname.
I like that one.
Right? Are you like Jokic hands?
He's
pretty
he's
great.
good.
He
He's
is
good.
really
He's
good.
really good. You know what? I was just. We had good coaching. And I was a pretty good athlete back then. So
Yeah.
you tried to just be a better athlete sometimes than people were. In all honesty.
Now, when you came in here to Edmonton and signed with the Green and Gold in 1999, so you were playing for them, but you were also coaching basketball.
Yep.
At the same time. So,
Yeah.
like, I know your love of basketball. So, obviously, you probably get pretty good cred from your players. You're like, oh, hey, this guy plays for the football team, and he's our coach in basketball. So that kind of got you in the coaching bug. So you were coaching while you were playing. Then you finished coaching. Eventually, you got into to coaching football. I think your first gig was a receiver coach of the Bears.
Yeah, with Jerry Friesen, first few years.
What? Because you told me, when you came out of a school, most of the coaching at the then university CIS level wasn't what it is now, and really probably the last 10 years is where we've seen a massive increase in better coaching, which is why I think we're seeing better players come out of the youth sport. So when you got into coaching as a receiver coach, what was the biggest learning curve for you?
I think the biggest learning curve, especially being a player, is that the players aren't going to be at a place where they can do some of the things that you're asking them to do, especially coaching or playing at a high level. There's lots of guys who couldn't do those certain things. It's funny. Shannon had this great story because Shannon Garrett, who I played with for a lot of years, he came and actually we coached with the Huskies together, coached at U of A together. And he was trying to get a couple of the DBs who were like 5'8", 180 pounds to do some of the techniques that he would do as a CFL player. And they were working on jamming one day. And he's like, no, you just stick them like this. And, a couple of the guys were like, I can't do that. That doesn't work with my body type or my skill set. And that's probably the hardest thing, is things that you would naturally assume that everybody could do, a lot of the kids can't do. And so it's really, you have to coach and teach to what their level was at. And you are right. In the last 10 years, last 10, 15 years, the coaching at U Sports level has been amazing. It has been, would rival what's being taught down in the States right now at an NC2A program for sure. And you can kind of see that with kids that are coming out of U Sports and the fact that there's more of them coming out that can jump to the CFL, and a lot are going to the NFL right away. Whereas it wasn't the same case probably 10, 15 years ago.
So what's the biggest so the coaching, you obviously have some of the players now that have came here, they stay here. Is there more of an emphasis? What is it about it you're getting better coaching at this level?
I think it's former players who have stayed. And if you notice that, a lot of the head coaches, position coaches are former players. They understand the strength and conditioning aspect of what that looks like now. They're running systems that are similar to systems that you would see at a CFL organization or an NFL teams. So I think all of those combined have made the athletes that are coming out of U Sports really, really good. You don't have to go away to get to a CFL team. You can get the same kind of coaching, same kind of strength and conditioning at numerous U Sports programs throughout the country now.
Rick Walters, our guest. You coach with Chris Morris at the U of A for a long time and been the offensive coordinator for the last few years. Really good team.
Yep.
You decided to step away from coaching this year. How difficult of a decision is it? And are you done coaching?
Oh, those are good questions. How difficult? Very difficult decision. Especially the way that we lost our game out in UBC. We had led the whole way.
Yeah.
Again, I think we were the better team. Unfortunately, probably 50 seconds of a play or 50 seconds of a game left, we kind of let one get away. And I think we had really had a team that could win the Vanier Cup last year. So it made for a very, very long and kind of hard fought decision throughout from December. It took a long time, January, to try to figure out what I was going to be able to do. One of the reasons I decided was just because I have three daughters.
Yep.
And wanted to coach their teams a little bit more. So great, had a great experience. I senior girls coach at St. Albert Catholic High School. We were able to finish second in cities and finish third in provincial. So we had a really, really good run. They hadn't been too strong for the last couple of years. They had been a great program probably about 4 or 5 years ago, but kind of went on some hard times. So had a great group of girls, played really well. So enjoyed coaching basketball. Am I done coaching
football?
Like
at the CIS U Sport level?
It's a good question. I'm going to remain non-committal for that. The surprising part was when I decided not to coach, how many teams actually reached out. I was kind of surprised.
Like offered you head coaching gigs?
Offered me different position coaching gigs, from the head coach to the OC, from junior teams to U Sports teams. So I was kind of surprised that I didn't really expect that would be the case, but it was really surprising, actually.
Wow, that's good. You mentioned coaching basketball to football, very different sports. So how different of you are as a coach in basketball than football?
That's a good question. I think a lot of the things that you try to do in both sports are very similar. In terms of being able to technically understand what you're trying to get done in each sports. I think sometimes people have systems and structures that they would like to get in, but if you don't know how to catch a ball or how to shoot a ball and do that very well and repeatable, then it doesn't really matter what kind of structure you have in place, what kind of system you have in place, if you get there and you can't execute what that looks like. So in that way, I'm very similar in both of those things. The quarterbacks will tell you we spend endless amount of time working on little technical things to make them better. And same with the basketball players. They'll tell you the same thing. We spend, I call them daily vitamins, and we spend tons of time at practice just being able to catch, shoot, dribble, that have nothing to do with systems and structures.
What is the most important thing to improve shooting for young players in basketball?
I think start close. I think lots of people try to see Steph Curry and they want to get out to the logo, or now they see Caitlin Clark and they want to get, deep shots. Really, you hone your fundamental skills like within a foot, 2 feet away from the basket.
Okay.
Being able to make it repeatable, being able to make it very robotic in terms of shooting the ball. Basketball is a very athletic, improv sport, but shooting is really something is robotic. If you can do it robotically, then you can usually be pretty good.
Going back to your football days, we started talking about some of your teammates and meanest and toughest teammates. Who is the most athletic teammate that you can remember having?
A few guys. When you're looking at that 02-03 team, those guys were crazy. It's funny because we had some amazing receivers. Like Terry was an amazing receiver, and he used to fall asleep all the time in meetings, but that's okay. That's another story.
I heard about that.
Yeah, all the time.
It's like he was narcoleptic.
Oh, he used to say that, but
No.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that was really true. We asked for a doctor's note a couple of times to say, can you really prove that? But I would say the best receiver we had was a guy by the name of Kes McCorvey.
Okay.
And we had some good ones.
Just because his route running?
His route running was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it was something that people just, like to watch him run a route. I was like guys just don't run routes like that. Like it was unbelievable for how he would break down, how he would set somebody up, things that he could do. Like Tucker would run great routes, but Tuck would kind of weave into a route and keep his speed at the top of his break. Whereas Kez would absolutely just break people's ankles in terms of what his routes. Like he'd stem somebody up and go left and hard plant left, and his knees would be almost parallel to the ground and shoot out right. And he could do that routinely. And so he was unbelievable in terms of what that looked like. He wasn't like a physical Hercules or anything like that, but his ability with his legs and his body control was unbelievable, second to none.
And then you guys had a flat out burner in Hervey, right?
Yeah,
like he was. I remember Addo Bolden because they trained together at USC, and I remember Ed at the time and said, "Hey, say hi to him," because I was covering the World Track and Field Championships, right? So I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." So you got these world class sprinters and stuff, so and they don't really want to talk to people, whatever. So I just like, "Hey, Addo, Ed Hervey wanted me to say hello to you," and his whole demeanor changed. He's like, "Oh," so he comes over, we're chatting, whatever, and we're talking about it, and he was like, Ed was easily a 200-meter like world-class sprinter.
Yeah,
So,
Ed was he was the dude in terms of running. And one of the things that Coach Machocha actually did really well was a lot of people wanted to go the first few years that Ed was here vertical. What Machocha started doing was we started going horizontal.
cross patterns.
And then people would have to, which is almost became more dangerous because people will now have to run across the field with picks coming or different things, and they couldn't keep up with that. And so we'd hit them on unders or overs or things like that people had to chase them all across the 65 yards, and it made him a really, really dangerous receiver for sure.
who was the who do you think was the best cover DB you played against or with?
There were some good guys for sure. Like Donnie Brady was the most aggressive, but he couldn't cover. Hopefully he's not listening.
He's still in unreal shape.
Oh yeah, I know. No, he could cover. Donnie was a good dude, but
he was very physical though.
Very physical.
Yeah.
He was trying to keep him within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, and he did an amazing job of jamming guys. And rules were a little different then, so he wouldn't let you off the line of scrimmage. But the best cover DB was either probably Malcolm Frank or Shannon Garrett. Shannon was probably the combination of all of those things, but it was between him and Malcolm. Malcolm might have been
Frank.
Yeah, might have been a little bit better cover guy, but Shannon was up there for sure.
Yeah, no, Malcolm Frank, probably one of the more underrated members of the Elks. If like when people talk about kind of great guys at their positions, sometimes now I know he got honored recently, which is great, but I think sometimes he kind of gets overlooked a little bit.
He does, and because he was a quiet guy, he wasn't a big self promoter. He didn't go out and advertise things that he was doing. He kind of just went out and did his job, and people just stopped throwing his way. Like he was always in great coverage, and so which is a true sign of respect, is when somebody's not coming your way.
So I want to get your thoughts on it. We had a lot of people texting about that UBC game, and they're just like, wow, we went to watch him dominate. Instead, all the roads led to alcohol from Rach, because obviously the ending didn't go very well. But I know you're not coaching the team anymore, but looking at their roster and everything, what's your expectations for the Green and Gold Bears this year?
Lots of high hopes. They're set up for success. Coach Morris and crew have done a great job with building a really, really strong roster. Usually when you want to look at a team, if they're going to have success, you look at the O line and D lines, and those are both strong. And then you look at the quarterback, and Eli Hedlinger is, if not the best quarterback in Canada. He's a top three guy, and coming out of Harry Ainley, and smart as all get up, understands coverage real quick. And Matt Peterson, who was their tailback and was up for the Heck Crichton this past year. I hear he's doing really well in Hamilton. But if he doesn't end up making that team, he'll add a lot of pop to the offense again. So I would think they're set up really, really well. They lose a few key guys, but there's a lot of guys that are coming up through the stables that will help.
Rick, always good to catch up with you, man. I really appreciate your time and continued success. Enjoy the summer where you're wearing long sleeves every day.
Every day. No off days.
I know. I'm not even saying there's no off days for Walters in the long sleeves. So we appreciate it. We'll see you around a football field soon.
All right. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. And congratulations to you guys as well for all the success you've had coming in 1440. And I think you guys are 24 hours now as well.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
So, which is super cool. So I don't have to change the station at like 7 p.m. anymore.
Yeah. No, that's good. I agree. That's good. Yeah. Listen to it right after. A lot of basketball. And that's a huge basketball guy. So you'll love that. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
That is Grey Cup champion Rick Walters. Let's get to the Comment Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Fountain Tire, where right now you can get a set of 4 tires, including Goodyear's, save $200. Check out all the great deals they have at fountaintire.com or stop in any one of the local locations.
The Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Hi, Brad McCory here. It's May, and that means it's time for our biggest sale of the year. We're practically giving away. Take our 2023 Ram 1500 Classic that was $59,000. Now, just $44,000. Yes, we're giving with savings up to $15,000 and an available 0% financing for 60 months on our new 2024
You're
Ram
listening to Jason Gregor
Sports. We really are giving away. Hey, why do you keep bleeping me? I was just saying we're giving trucks away during our biggest sale of the year. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dock.
Thinking of building a garden suite above your detached garage for aging loved ones? Make a Ram elevator part of that plan. Ram Elevators and Lifts understands that an elevator is more than a mechanical device. It's accessibility and safety, and it's an easy addition that can be added in a space as small as 3.5 by 4 feet with standard 8-foot ceilings. North American made and rated as the best residential elevators by Forbes magazine. Grounded simplicity, elevated design. Click on trustram.com.
Why tee off at the Ranch Golf and Country Club?
A fun, unique layout offering premier conditions. The Ranch has been ranked as one of the top public courses in Canada.
Unmatched value. Score Golf Magazine rated the Ranch as the best value in Edmonton.
The service, from tournaments to special events to the pro shop. Superior service that makes every visit exceptional.
The Ranch Golf and Country Club, a laid-back environment where anyone can enjoy an amazing day on the fairways. For details, visit theranchgolf.com.
Sports 1440 has added another player to our lineup. Tonight, from 6 to 9, check out Turn Sports with your host, Navin Romerick. Edmonton's exclusive home of sports talk is now rolling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
At McDonald's, we know summer can go by quickly, so make the most of all the park hangs, beach days, sunsets, and festivals. Whew. With a $2 plus tax sundae or snack-sized milkshake, or an app-exclusive $1 plus tax soft-serve cone. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada, prices exclude delivery. App download and registration required.
Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 or more. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Book online today. I can tell by the look on your face you're thinking about it.
CW Eves Troughing is busy. That's why they're looking for experienced troughers to run one of their trucks. To get paid top rates, contact CW Eves Troughing at 780-435-1492 or email info@cweves.com.
When summer brings the heat, McDonald's brings the chill. During summer drink days, enjoy a small iced coffee or a refreshing Coca-Cola for $1 plus tax and step up your summer today. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada, prices exclude delivery.
This spring, the savings continue at the Brick. Take up to 40% off furniture and mattresses, as well as a chance to scratch and save an additional 40% off your purchase. Plus, you'll have the chance to win great prizes, including a $10,000 Brick shopping spree. Find amazing deals on kitchen appliances, and save up to $400 on sofa, so you can prepare your ultimate game day snacks and then watch the game in style. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And I'm Zach Hyman. And when we're not making juicy, sweet passes or having my goals disallowed, we're working for Legacy Heating and Cooling. You know, guys used to call me a plumber, and now they call you an AC repairman. Nice.
Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the jingle.
Oh.
Well.
Okay. Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year from qualified installers. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Logs crackle as you toast a marshmallow to perfection. Light dances off your lustrous new Toyota. Nearby, a cricket chirps. Or a mosquito. Anyways, one thing's for sure, this moment isn't just a dream, it's an invitation to escape. So stop dreaming. Red Tag Days are on a Toyota. For a limited time, lease a 2024 RAV4 LE all-wheel drive from $96 weekly for 36 months at 5.49% with $3,999 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Diablo Boots has been open for business for 60 years, selling Canadian-made quality boots. Diablo has Canada West work, biker, and cowboy boots with fixable soles and heels. So why buy boots like Area, Justin, or Red Wing that are made in China? Get your money's worth with Diablo's Canada West tough, comfortable work boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. And does Diablo sell the best boots in town? You betcha.
Na 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 na.
Back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook. And so many of you text in. I always, you know what? We have to listen to the audience, what the audience likes at times. So you know what? Many of you seem to like rolling the dice, shall we say? Which I'm a big fan of. Why not? So many of you, hey, Greggs, why don't you do the a draw for the baseball game instead? So I'm like, all right, because we had a lot of votes. We had a few people text in some initial bids, but not close to face value or anything like that. So you know what? I think I like that idea better for the 50 seats in the Delta Valley patio for the Riverhawks game, and it comes with 50 beer bats, which is the big bats full of beer, which is basically that's like 100 beers is what that amounts to, right? It's on a Saturday night. So yeah, you know what? We will well, I gotta double check, but I think that we'll do that tomorrow on the show instead, the way that you guys want. I think it'll be more fun. So we'll do everybody puts in 100. Well, not everybody. We'll pick a number. We always like to get face value. Maybe a little bit, through a little bit more because it's for charity. And then we'll do that, and we'll do entries that way. So if you're interested, we do $100, and we'll just figure out how many people it'll be. It's not going to be that many, and somebody's going to win 50 tickets in the patio suite on the Saturday night with the beers you get. And by the way, you have your own server as well. While you're there, you have the players. So if you want to do it for your company, you want to do it for kid party, whatever, you're right by the dugout for the Riverhawks. So you know what? Sometimes you get balls thrown in there, autographs signed. It's a real front row experience. So I kind of like that idea from you based on the response. We'll do that way tomorrow. All right. Now, let's go in the room, brought to you by Next Gen Transportation, heavy haul transport provider, 100% locally owned and operated, proud partner of the MyShack group of companies. It's nextgentransportation.com as Mike Rupp from no Rupper today, Cons. What happened?
He had to bail.
Oh, well, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, so no Rupper today, and then we will have George Richards coming up in 15 minutes.
Well, then let's get we'll get some of the order stuff instead. We'll switch gears. So Rupper's coming on tomorrow. Oh, because
tomorrow at 4.
At 4:00. Okay. Well, there we go. So I like little last changes. So we'll try to get some of the knob block stuff. But basically, the main thing from the orders today is Adam Henrique. I think that's the big story. He is not a guarantee for tomorrow, but he's a guarantee in the series by game 3 at the latest. So yesterday was the first time we saw him. He's been on the ice with the players, but when they got into line rushes, he didn't take part in it. Today, he was on a line the entire time. He was skating with Draisaitl and Holloway because Evander Kane wasn't on the ice. Now, remember, Evander Kane, he's rest days. He's basically dealing with something. He's going to rest most days. His head coach reiterated that, so I expect Evander Kane to play tomorrow. Coach Knobloch wouldn't state then where he planned on playing Adam Henrique, but make no mistake, once he's healthy, he's going to be in the lineup. And I think it's obvious that he's going to be start on the third line. I think there's zero reason to take Dylan Holloway right now off of the second line with Draisaitl and Kane. So Adam Henrique comes in, and then the question's going to be, is he going to play wing and have Foegele on the right wing, McLeod at center, or would they possibly put McLeod on left wing with Henrique at center and Foegele on the right wing? I think either way, Fogle's going to play the right side because they're all left shots. And it comes down to McLeod or Henrique. Now, just because you line up at the center ice position doesn't mean you're playing center ice all the time, right? Who's ever back first, you have different guys. They can, if McLeod's back first, he can understand the defensive responsibilities, no problem. But there seemed to be something about McLeod playing on the wing that allowed him a little bit more freedom, right? He would start a little, on the natural setup, well, he's a little bit higher, covering the blue line. And if all of a sudden the Oilers like to transition the puck, well, now he's starting up higher. Can use his speed more. Now, it obviously helps when you're playing with Draisaitl. He's a pretty good passer. Right? The one thing that Henrique does that Foegele and McLeod don't really do, he's very good around the net. Right? So McLeod can still transport the puck. So I'm kind of curious to see how it goes. Whether it's left or center, I'm not sure it's a huge difference, except for, there's a few times in the game where McLeod will be up higher in the zone because he's the winger. And maybe that allows him to exploit the opposition defense with his speed more. And I think that's something to consider. So, I think Henrique is definitely more physical. He's more comfortable around the net in both ends of the rink. And so I think there is definitely a reason why you could have him as your center iceman. And then the question becomes, what's your fourth line going to be? Janmark, Carrick, Ryan, Brown. I'm going to guess, just because he was the guy who was out before, that it's Connor Brown. And Connor Brown's played well in the role. But I think they like Ryan better. Now, I could make an argument. I'll just say this. I could make an argument. If I had Janmark and Carrick, the best suited right winger might be Corey Perry for that line, because he likes to cycle the puck. Janmark's good at cycling, so is Carrick. Foegele and McLeod, they don't really cycle the puck. That's not their forte. So I think Perry, at this stage of his career, if you're going to get the most out of him, he's better off playing with guys who can cycle the puck. Hey, guys, I'm not sure if this is discussed already. It's hard to me imagine why the Oilers aren't favored. They have the 4 top point getters. My question is, has there ever been an NHL team that has 4 of the top point getters on one team in the playoffs or regular season for Ed? Well, I know in the regular season, Ed, yes. The Boston Bruins in 1971 or 1970. I'll double check which year, but I know it was one of the years where they had the top 4 scorers. I know in the playoffs in 1970 when they won the Stanley Cup, they had Esposito, Busick, Johnny McKenzie, and what's the other guy? Fred Stanfield, I think it was the fourth guy on them. I know in the regular season, might have been even 72. Konza, you can look it up. I know the Bruins had the top 4 guys in the regular season, but I know they had them in the top 4 at least once. I'd have to look again. I wonder if the Canadian, now if we go way back to the original 6 for sure, but I think you're talking post expansion to probably be a little bit more fair. I would think the Montreal Canadiens might have had one year. Now, the Oilers didn't. Like, even in 1985, when the Oilers had 6 players. So the Oilers and the Islanders, in case you're wondering, they own the NHL record for most players with 20 points in one playoff year. They each had 6. In 1983, the last year the Islanders won the Cup, they had 6 players with 20-plus points. Bobby Bourne led them in scoring that year with 29. The Sutter brothers, Brent and Dwayne, each had 21. You had Bossy, you had Trottier, and you had Dennis Potvin as the other 3 guys to get 20 points. Now, the Oilers in 1985 also had 6 players with 20 points. Gretzky had 47 that year. Coffey had 37. Curry had 31. Then you had Messier, Anderson, and Charlie Huddy had 20 points from the back end. The Oilers right now, there's been 2 teams that had 6. There's been multiple teams. I think it's 4 who had 5 players with 20-plus points, including the 1991 Minnesota North Stars did, but they didn't win. The most recent team actually was the Washington Capitals when they won the Cup in 2018. They had 5 guys. But so there's been 17 teams in NHL history that had 4 players with 20 or more points. Every one of those 17 teams made it to the Stanley Cup final. 13 of them won it. 4 didn't. Right? One was the North Stars in 1991. Man, I got to go back and through the memory banks here to think of who of some of those other teams who had 4 guys but didn't win the Cup, but they made it to the Cup final. All right, Colorado recently had 4. They won. You had Vegas had 4 last year. They won. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins doesn't have 16 points yet, but is 20 points yet. He's got 16. They're trending that direction. Bouchard's already got 20. McDavid's got 21. Draisaitl's got 24. So I think you're onto something. It's why I picked the Edmonton Oilers. Ed, is, you know what? We can talk about depth, and people say, well, Dallas has more depth. Okay, but Edmonton is averaging almost 1 goal a game more. Why is depth more important? It's like, do you want quantity or do you want quality? Edmonton's got the high-end quality, and they've got decent depth scoring. Dallas right now has had 11 guys scored a goal last series. The Oilers had 9. Right. But now Dallas's forwards produced more, but Edmonton got 9 goals from the defenseman last series. Bouchard had 4. Ekholm had 3. Ceci has 2. Right. That's pretty good. So while, yes, Dallas is getting a little bit more depth scoring, Edmonton's getting more depth scoring from the back end. And the big difference is Edmonton has way more high-end offense. So when you look at that, I think there's lots of reasons to be very confident about Edmonton. Doesn't guarantee they'll win, but to me, that is I would not overlook it. Hey boys, would you consider Sidney McLeod, seeing he's made some big mistakes, especially in the last game? Hasn't provided any offense for maintenance man. I don't think the coach would do it in game 1, and I wouldn't. If it was me, I wouldn't do it either. It was an awful gaffe. There's no question about it. However, Ryan McLeod, this is the same coach who for the last few games is like, hey, we're going to play McLeod's line against Miller as much as we can. So they had confidence. They didn't get outscored. They didn't get dominated. Right now, they made a terrible gaffe on that play, but that's not one where, oh man, they out-muscled you or you made a bad read. That's just him fanning on a puck, looking, I don't know if he looked nervous. I don't want to get inside his head. It looked awful. No question. Right? I didn't love his play, I guess, on the only goal by Höglander in game 6. So I can understand why there's a little frustration here. But if you look top to bottom in the postseason, I think McLeod is being outscored by 1 goal, 5-on-5. So maybe 2 now. It might be 2. So considering you haven't scored any, that's actually not bad. Right? Like at some point you'd think you'd produce. So I don't think he would take him out just yet. But I will say this. I think they're going to look at Ryan McLeod, and we'll see now. I think Ryan McLeod got his eyes opened because he didn't play after that giveaway. Now, any good coach, you don't even have to say anything. What happens is the coach just doesn't call the player's name. The guys know what happened. And it's pretty obvious. Hey, I made an error. I'll work on it. They've probably had a conversation since. And the little things that McLeod can do better. I like his defensive game. He's had really good reads in the defensive zone. I have no problem. Like mishandling the puck is one thing. I didn't like it, but I haven't seen McLeod in the wrong position very often defensively. right? His speed is still an asset. I know it's not leading to any offense, but if he can break even, you'll live with it because you know your top. Like if McLeod can break even in the series against Dallas, I'm very confident that the Oilers' top two lines can outscore Dallas's top two lines. And I would think that's how they look at it. Of course, you want your third line to produce, no question. But if they can just break even, which means eventually you got to score something because Dallas's bottom guys will score. So I don't think I would sit him out yet, but I do think that it's going to be he becomes maybe a candidate. Same with Warren Foegele. I think both of those guys, the longer it goes, when you have Corey Perry sitting out, right, and maybe it's Connor Brown again, they're going to look and say, hey, eventually you got to do something to stay in the lineup when you have quality players who are healthy scratched. Eventually you have to, right? I don't see it. Right? You can't just not produce. Like the third line doesn't have a goal in the playoffs. Right? They don't. So the fourth line's got some, but they don't have any. I'm not including Fogel's empty net goal. That doesn't count. I'm talking a 5-on-5 goal. So, Perry's been there for a while. Ryan's been there for a while. They haven't had success and they need some. There's no debate in my mind. It has to come. And, we'll hear from Cody Ceci and Darnell Nurse a little bit later on in the show. Because look, they made some changes there. And I think people are actually sleeping a little bit on it. If I had to ask you right now, which Oiler defenseman in games 5 to 7 played the least amount of ice time 5-on-5? You have 6 choices. Who played the fewest minutes 5-on-5 combined in game 5, 6, and 7 amongst the Oilers' 6 defensemen? Cons? People can text in 833-401-1440. Who do you think it was? Don't look it up. Which defenseman played the fewest minutes combined game 5, 6, and 7? That's your guess? Okay. I'm going to see what people think. Who played the fewest minutes amongst the 6 defenders? 5-on-5. We've got a lot of bids coming and a lot of texts coming in. I think 1, maybe 2. Correct. I gave you some time. I'll tell you who it is. It's Matthias Ekholm. Now, Matthias Ekholm was battling a flu bug a little bit. I was a little sick. So Bouchard played the most at 51 minutes. Cody Ceci was next at 50. Kulak was 49. Ekholm was 6th at 39. Like Cody Ceci and Brett Kulak were not on the ice for 1 goal against in the final 3 games. I know there's a group of people that want to hate on everything Cody Ceci does. Right? They're like, even if the Oilers win, they're going to win despite him. Well, they just won games 6 and 7. He scored a goal, massive goal, was not on the ice for 1 goal against. They had a positive shot share of 53%. And the other thing that was different from games 5, 6, and 7 to games 1 through 4 was games 1 through 4, Bouchard and Ekholm had 18 offensive zone starts, 1 defensive zone start. And the other guys were all 6 and 7, pretty much even, O zone to D zone. In the last 3 games, the O zone starts, the highest was Kulak at 9 and 7 defensive zone starts. And everybody else was like 7 and 7. Desharnais was the only one who had more D zone starts by a long shot. He was 8 to 5, which obviously isn't a long shot, but CC was 7 to 6. So they tightened it up a little bit, but they changed it. Now, Ekholm's illness had something to do with it, no question. But even in game 7, because it was game 6, he only played 15 total minutes. In game 7, when he was feeling better, he still wasn't leading. And I'm curious to see the Kulak-CC pairing played quite well. And I wonder what type of minute distribution we're going to see in this series against Dallas. Because Dallas doesn't have like one glaring top line. Right? They've got a few lines that can beat you different ways. And so it comes down to stylistically, which pair do you think works best? Right? Nurse and Desharnais played well together as well. Chris Knobloch went out of his way today talking about how much he really liked Nurse's game in 6 and 7. And they need that. He wasn't very good in the first few games of the series, no question. So he's got to be better. And he was. But the group, with Ekholm being a little bit under the weather, really stepped up in games 5, 6, and 7. Quick break. When we return, we'll preview the conference final on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
In 1973, deep in the basement of an Edmonton family home, an elite team of specialized forces came together to form Action Electrical.
Action Electrical Divisions, assemble!
Projects team reporting.
Service team reporting.
Testing team reporting.
Energy team reporting.
Supercharged with skills in their electrical fields and grounded by strong family values. Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
This spring, experience innovation on the road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Right now, lease from 0.99% or save up to $4,000 on select models for qualifying loyal Volvo Cars Edmonton customers. Plus, save $5,000 on all new and demo 2024 XT60 Recharge plug-in hybrid models. Discover why we're Canada's only 13-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Chat online at volvocarsedmonton.com or visit 1205 101st Street Southwest.
The
Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, and a lovely Wednesday. Man, today's just flying by. We're almost over halfway through the show. Playoff fever, baby. Everybody's getting excited. It's fun. We got the conference finals beginning tonight in the Eastern Conference. On order, fans, because now you start to think, if we win, you're playing the winner of the Panthers and the Rangers. Well, one of these teams will hoist a cup for the first time in at least 25 years. That's Dallas. The Rangers haven't won in 30. The Panthers have never won in their franchises 30 years. The Oilers haven't won since 1990. So some fan base is going to be having loads of fun, as well as their organization. And you know what? I don't know if there's any clear-cut favorite on either side. I think you got 4 really good teams, and these should be a heck of a series. As we get to the playoff report, brought to you by Action Electrical, and they remind you, hey, you want to take action on your savings? Solar is great opportunity for you to save on lots of power. Everybody knows their power bill is going through the roof right now. So, hey, you put this on your roof and it'll help you get a 10-year interest-free loan as well. Go to actionelectrical.net. As George Richards from Florida Hockey Now, longtime beat reporter for the Panthers, joins us. And George, hey, they were here last year, them and the Stars, both in the conference final last year, the year before the Rangers and the Oilers. So, I think everybody's fairly even on experience. Do you see anything really different from the Panthers 2024 to the Panthers 2023?
I think they're deeper. I think that's something that Bill Zito wanted to address during the offseason as quick as it was. I think he had like 2 weeks before free agency opened, but that was certainly something that they targeted, that they had a couple spots that they knew that they needed to improve at, and one of them was fourth line center, and they signed Kevin Stenlund. They trade for Stephen Lawrence. They were going to let those two battle it out, and Stenlund won that job. But Florida's just, they're 5 lines deep. I mean, they've got some really good players who aren't playing in this round, and they're deep defensively, and that was something that kind of cost them last year against Las Vegas when they had a couple injuries. They couldn't answer it.
So now we look at this series, and you know what? The Panthers, they get by Tampa, not with ease, but very confidently. Boston, right. They're in control. Got a little hiccup there, but then they got back on the rails. They've been very good. The Rangers, their special teams, Georgia, I'm sure they've talked about it a lot. Yeah. Carolina had a great special teams, and they still got whacked. So how can the Panthers, how can they score on the power play? And what do you think they got to do to shut down this potent power play of the Rangers?
Yeah, the range. Yeah, I think that's going to be the key to this series is special teams on both ends. Florida's power penalty kill has been very good, but New York just creates so much on the power play that even when they don't score, they've kind of got you hemmed in, in the offensive zone, and you see them. You look at their numbers on the power play, but look at what's happened even when they've been stopped. They score moments after it ends that so you don't even see those numbers. But yeah, I mean, Florida's got to stay out of the box. New York has a very good penalty kill themselves. They've got 4 shorthanded goals, so. Special teams throughout is going to be something that we look at in this series, and it is in all the series, right? I mean, special teams in the postseason is so important, but especially in this one, and New York certainly has the edge.
So looking at the matchups, you got the Selke Trophy winner in Barkov. Is it just too easy to assume they're going to try to lock him in on Panarin's line?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Paul Maurice likes to change things up, but that line's been so good for the New York Rangers with Vincent Trocheck and Lafreniere. The New York Rangers have been feasting on teams this postseason with that trio. So yeah, I would expect to see Sasha Barkov and his guys on the ice a lot when you see those 3.
So then, from the Rangers' perspective. They have home ice advantage in the first 2 games. What are the matchups that you feel they're going to want?
That's hard to say because you've got Florida that likes to mix and match. I mean, you have Sam Bennett now on the 3rd line. You've got Anton Lundell working with Tkachuk and shoot, I can't even think. Verhaeghe. Yeah. So, I don't necessarily know which way New York's going to go with that, because the Panthers really have four lines that can score on you. Even the fourth line has been productive for Florida this postseason. So it's going to be interesting to see which way they go.
Now, you talked about the Bennett move, right? Kachuk's on your quasi second line. Bennett's on your third line. Cousins and Lomberg are on your fourth line. Like, the Panthers, not only do they have skill, they got a lot of agitators, right? Like, they got a lot of jerk factor. And I mean that in a complimentary fashion. What was the reason? Was that why they just want to make sure they got it all covered? Or like, why would they switch up Lundell and Bennett?
Well, when Bennett went out with the hand injury in Game 2 against Tampa Bay, they slid Lundell up there, and that line was really cooking. You saw Carter Verhaeghe have a great series against Tampa Bay. You saw Matthew Tkachuk have a great series, at least offensively, numbers wise. And then Bennett comes back Game 3 against Boston, and that line sort of slowed. So listen, Bennett still has the hand injury. He's not taking faceoffs. So you've got Luosterainen, who can do that on that third line. You've got Lundell taking him up when the second line's on the ice. So it's just Bennett will be back with his guys, right? Bennett will be back with Verhaeghe and Tkachuk, because that's how the Panthers have been the past couple years. They'll be back together. But for right now, they like what they see with Lundell and those other two guys.
Yeah, no, well, it's a good problem to have when you can move guys around like that. And, Bennett, I like how he plays. He brings a lot of tenacity. How's Tarasenko overall been? He's playing with Barkov and Reinhart. Obviously, Barkov had a Selke year. Reinhart, I think, probably as good as he was offensively, was just as good defensively. How's Tarasenko fit in since the trade deadline?
Yeah, he's fit in fine. He hasn't produced a whole lot of points, especially in the playoffs, but the Panthers are very comfortable with him out there on the ice with Barkov and Reinhart. So, they all talk hockey. That's the thing Paul Maurice always points to when you ask about those three. They're just such hockey minds that they just love talking the game as the game is unfolding. Very smart players, all three of them. And, Tarasenko's fit right in with them.
You look at Florida's defense, Ekblad and Forsling. I'm assuming they're going to, probably see a lot of the Panarin matchup, I would guess, in this series. But, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, a lot of people thought, he was kind of done in Vancouver. He's been a really good find for them coming in and, really solidifying that third pairing, from Ekman-Larsson. How do you see his role, and has he maybe been undervalued and how important he's been for the Panthers' success, especially early on when you had Montour and Ekblad out?
Yeah, that's a great point, because when you had Montour and Ekblad out, they put OEL up on the top pairing with Gus Forsling, and he was playing 22, 23, 24 minutes a night, and really his stock just jumped, right? I mean, because, this guy just came off a historic buyout, and the Panthers got him for a nice price, I think $2.3 million or something, and he fit right in, right? And then Montour and Ekblad come back, and they drop him down to the third pairing with Dmitry Kulikov, and Paul Maurice is wondering, hey, he's going to play less minutes. Hopefully he doesn't lose that fight, and he didn't. He's back down to 16, 17 minutes. But he and Dmitry Kulikov have been a very quietly good defensive pairing, to the point where, we were like, yeah, Kulikov is probably going to come out of this lineup and maybe never see the light of day again. And he never came out because he and OEL were just so good together. So that's been a very good defensive pairing for Florida. And one, like you said, nobody's really talking about, but you'll see, if you watch the games, you see Kulikov and OEL being very active in a number of top situations for Florida.
And, Gustav Forsling, I think, is a defenseman that's getting more attention, as he should be, a solid defender overall. I look, though, at the Panthers, and I guess it'll come down to goaltending a little bit in this series. You got Shesterkin, who's played great for the Rangers, and Bobrovsky. Now, Bobrovsky's, if you just look at kind of like the headline numbers, they don't jump out at you as being great at all. He doesn't face a ton of shots. How would you evaluate Bobrovsky's overall play so far in the postseason?
I think he's been there when the Panthers have needed. I think that you look at Game 6 when Boston came with everything that they had. Bobrovsky was there to make the saves. And listen, he got a little rusty as the series went, as the game was going on. There were 4, 5, 6 different times where he did not face a single shot for spans of 8, 9, 10, 11 minutes. And that's tough on a goalie. And that happened in the Tampa series too. That's how good Florida's defense has been. They've been able to suppress shots. You know, we had, you know, you had a game there with Boston. I think they had like 14 shots on goal or something in the entire game.
Yeah.
So Bobrovsky hasn't had that big of a workload. But he doesn't care about the numbers. He really doesn't. He just wants, at this point in his career, he's just trying to get the win. And he's been good. He's been good enough, and the Panthers are absolutely fine with what Sergei Bobrovsky has brought to them this postseason.
Lastly, George, what's kind of an underlying matchup or key to the series to ensure the Panthers win?
Well, they got to stay out of the penalty box. I think that, you know, we talked about the special teams, but Florida's got to get that, you know, they got to get some secondary scoring. I think that's the biggest thing for them is, you know, getting the bottom 6 going. We saw Steven Lawrence, he had a couple goals in the playoffs, but, you know, maybe get Ryan Lomberg to get one of those. He has one every year in the postseason for Florida. Get those bottom 6 guys going, because, you know, the top 6 for both teams are going to cook. I mean, both top 6s are phenomenal. They're going to get theirs. But, you know, if Florida can get some secondary stuff going, they're going to be good to go.
Well, George, it's going to be a great series. Give me your thoughts on the West. Who do you like, Dallas, Edmonton?
Who am I talking to? Where am I being broadcast?
No. Give your honest answer.
Dallas. Yeah, I like Dallas a lot. I think Dallas is sneaky good. If I had to put money on it right now, I'd probably pick them to win it all, because I just, you know, the way Pete DeBoer's got that team playing defensive hockey and just all the parts that they've got, I just think Dallas is really, really good.
Awesome. George, enjoy it, man. Should be a heck of a series. I can't wait to watch game 1 tonight. Appreciate your time.
All right. We'll see you later. Thank you.
There you go. That's George Richards from Florida Hockey Now. Oh, also, this just coming down. That was our playoff report brought to you by Action Electrical. The New Jersey Devils. Earlier today, the LA Kings announced that they've removed the interim tag. Jim Hiller will be their head coach, so that left 4 vacancies. Well, now it's down to 3, because Sheldon Keefe is now the head coach of the New Jersey Devils. So that leaves Seattle, San Jose, and the Ottawa Senators looking for a head coach. So there you have it. Keefe not wasting any time, getting right back in the saddle, going from Toronto to New Jersey. Take a quick break. We'll come back. 5 questions and more on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Enjoy the tasty breakfast trio. Your choice of chicken or sausage McMuffin or McGriddles with a hash brown and a small premium roast coffee for $5 plus tax. Available until 11 a.m. at participating McDonald's restaurants. Price excludes delivery.
The playoffs are wild. We all know that. And this year, Play Alberta is making it even wilder. Make a deposit with promo code Gregor50 to snag a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. Get ready for unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs with 10+ odds boost on every Oilers playoff game. Score a chance to win a pair of lower bowl or even exclusive sweet tickets for an Oilers playoff game just by making a bet on an Oilers playoff game at playalberta.ca. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months.
We got a lot of texts coming in. Yes, Sheldon Keefe is the new coach in New Jersey. Corey Perry is not injured. I do not expect Sam Gagner to be in the lineup anytime soon for the Edmonton Oilers. For trying to answer multiple different questions at once. Thanks. Keep the text coming in our eWell inbox 833-401-1440. Your local electrical distributor. Big sports fans. The show Sports 1440 is always on in the main showroom. So stop in, get all your electrical needs, and keep up on the show. EWEL.ca. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, with you as the Oilers. They left this afternoon. Their plane departed at 1 o'clock. They are flying. We'll get into Dallas. They actually, because it's a conference final, so they had some players available here today, but then they will have more that have to be available in Dallas. So it's a rare kind of double day, although I don't think there's any players who are speaking twice. But it's conference final, and it's mandatory by the league that you have to have a press conference because there's more national writers in for them. So interviewed Henrique and Nurse and Cece here today, as well as Coach Knobloch. He'll speak again in Dallas, as will McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, Hyman. I think Ekholm's on that list too. And then even the general manager, Ken Holland. But they won't be speaking until about, I want to say 6:30 Edmonton time. So we'll see. Anyway, let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. As the saving continues, you can take up to 40% off furniture and mattresses. You'll have the chance to win great prizes, including a $10,000 brick shopping spree at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Gregor, question number 1. A couple hours here, an hour and a half for puck drop. As the Panthers take on the Rangers, who's your pick? How many games to win the Eastern Conference Final?
Oh, I think I picked the Panthers in 6. So, man, I really like both of these teams, but Florida, they got the skill to match the Rangers. They got a little bit more tenacity on their team, but the Rangers, this is not going to, I don't think this will be an easy series. Watch it be 4 straight, but I don't think it's going to.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hope the Panthers get it done for the Mondo Madness purposes. Lots of Panthers on my team, but I think they're going to get it done. There's a reason I loaded up on them. I think they just got a good team. So I'll say Panthers, and you know what? I'll say for 5. They take advantage where the Carolina Hurricanes couldn't. Question number 2. Who would be your Conn Smythe winner right now as we're at the midpoint of the playoffs?
Oh, well, the midway point would be Leon Draisaitl. He's leading the league in scoring. Obviously, the NHL record for most power play goals in one playoff year is 9. Cam Neely in 91, Mike Bossy in 81. Each had 9. He already has 6. He takes huge draws. He also is a lot better, I think, defensively than some people give him credit for. So yeah, it would be Leon Draisaitl for me.
Yeah, hard to go against that one. Let's for fun, I'll just throw out Evan Bouchard, 20 points, 3 game-winning goals from the blue liner. Love to see those sorts of things with Leon Draisaitl. How can you argue with what he's been doing?
Yeah, well, I think Shesterkin would get a lot of votes. Miro Heiskanen, some people say why Johnson, but Miro Heiskanen for me, the guy's playing 28 minutes a night, man. Are you kidding me? He leads them in points. He already has. He had 1 power play goal all year. He's already got 3 in the postseason. So Miro Heiskanen has been unbelievable for Dallas. I think Oiler fans, you might not like him when the season ends, but you'll have a lot more respect for him. He's a dynamic player.
Totally agree. Question number 3. The LA Kings obviously removing the interim tag for Jim Hiller, making him the team's permanent coach. Do you like this move for Los Angeles?
Yeah, I don't mind it. As long as Jim Hiller is not going to play the 1-3-1. I don't think there's any way he could coach that team. When you heard all of the post end of season comments from Fiala and go down the list of guys who are like, no, our system was terrible. It's not fun to play. I don't think there's any way he wants to play it. So, you know what? He knows the players. It's almost like, I know it's rare for an assistant to jump up. It wasn't there that long, but the fact that he's going to be the guy who introduces a brand new system, I think it'll feel different than some other assistant coaches. So I don't mind it. I'm curious, though, who he brings in to fill out his coaching staff.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I wonder if that was a part of the conversation with Blake, changing up that style, switching things up, maybe playing a style that the players might actually enjoy playing a little bit more. But I'm with you. I like the move, but I think there was that conversation. We got to change things up. No more of this 1-3-1. Clearly not working with the 3 straight first-round exits. Question number 4 for you. Since we had Rick Walters on the show today, we got the CFL season right around the corner. What is your favorite part about the CFL season?
Well, you know what? I like any back-to-back game in football. I quite enjoy it. But really, I would probably have to say Labor Day weekend is my favorite part of the regular season. I know it's always kind of felt like, you know what? Now we separate the pretenders from the contenders. And you'd have great rivalries, Saskatchewan and Winnipeg and Edmonton and Calgary and Toronto and Hamilton. I still love watching those games. So I will say the Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, good one. I mean, for me, I love Friday night football. Getting home after the week, throwing it on, watch a little CFL action, but also doing the watch parties. Always like going out, watching the games with the fans and a couple members of the Elks Eskimos alum. Always a good time. So the watch party is also very fun throughout the CFL season. Final question for you today. Today is National Solitaire Day. I know the Jason Gregor Show in its entirety, we're all big fans of solitaire, but what is your favorite card game of all time?
Does crib count because it has a board or no?
I'm going to say just cards in this one.
Okay. Then, it's a tough one. I probably would go with Baruch. It's a card game we played in high school, and my buddies still play it. And man, we would play for hours, and it was unreal fun. So I'm going to go with Baruch.
Good one. I mean, I would probably go with Solitaire would be my favorite. Like, that's just something to pass the time. It's great. Growing up, didn't play a lot of card games, though. Still don't enjoy them. I did play a lot of War with my grandfather. So
War is a classic.
Good memories, a simple game to play with a kid. Go Fish was always fun, but I'll go with War.
War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Honorable mention to maybe like Blackjack when I got older.
Oh, yeah.
Can be fun.
I'm a big fan of Canasta.
Okay.
People of card sharks out there have known Canasta. It's a classic game. You know what's the one card game I've never played that I probably would like to learn and maybe is Bridge. I've never played it. I don't know how to play it. But anybody who plays it, is it worth learning? That'd be my question. Euchre's another classic game. But Bridge. Any Bridge players out there? Or anybody who's, because if obviously the Bridge players are going to say, yeah, it's great. So anybody who's played Bridge but isn't a Bridge player, there's a difference. Let me know. Would it be worth me putting in time? It can't be that hard. Like I pick up card games pretty quick. Like, have you ever met somebody they're just like, they don't get it? They don't understand the concept of certain cards? It's
me.
Is that you? You're not a card guy?
Don't love them, no.
Okay.
Simplicity will be my friend when it comes to cards.
Simplicity.
Yeah.
So like Crazy Eights?
No, I haven't played it.
What?
So my family loves cards. Whenever we're on family vacations, they'll get it going. Hearts, I think.
Oh, yeah. Hearts is pretty simple.
And I'm
right?
just like, no, I'll watch a movie. I'll do something else. Yeah.
Come on. Oh, you're the fun sponge.
It's probably more fun without me.
Oh, well, yeah, but cards isn't that hard, man. It's like 4 suits. Hearts trumps anything. You got to follow the suit. Ace to high. Ace is high. Everything's low. Right? Queen of Spades is worth 13. Pretty simple. Very simple game.
Gibberish.
Very easy game. Right? Each heart is worth 1 point. You try to avoid them unless you want to go for power and get all 26 points.
And I do like the sounds of that.
Yeah. See? Got to have a good hand and go for it. I love hearts, man. It's a great game. I didn't know Solitaire. God, you love the days. It's classic. Well, now there's something for every day. Right? Sometimes some days have like 2 things they celebrate.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have taken this in a variety of different directions, but I didn't know if National Numeracy Day would be great. National Boss Babe Day. Buy a Musical Instrument Day. One with cards.
All right. Okay.
It was also World Goth Day. I could have asked your favorite goth.
Ooh. Favorite goth. Gosh. Oh, what was her name? Wasn't Nev Campbell a goth in one movie? I think she might have been. So I think she would be my favorite. Like she kind of, maybe she wasn't like, but I remember her.
The Craft was that it? Yeah.
Yeah. I would probably go with that one. Yeah. But actually, might not even been her. Might have been the other character in the movie, Craft. Yeah. She was kind of the one that ended up being I don't even know the character's name, but I remember as a young lad, kind of thought she was hot. So I'd probably go with her. I never had any friends who were goth. No, I didn't. Maybe I missed out. Probably should have, but didn't really have a lot of goths at the old JHBK. Not sure why. Maybe they're not French. I don't know.
Someone said The Undertaker. Good pick.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
good
a
one.
good, sure. It's a good one. Coming up, we will go to Big D Oilers in Dallas. Also, we'll have a little trip down memory lane. Did you know the Oilers in Dallas, when they met 5 consecutive years, that is the second longest consecutive playoff meeting streak in NHL history. 2 teams met 9 times in a row. 9 consecutive years. Now that's a rivalry, baby. You can probably guess who it was. And I do it post-expansion, because if you do it prior to that, there's much easier. There's only 4 teams making the playoffs every year, so you got better odds. But since, and I haven't included since 67 when you had 12-team leagues, and then 14, 16, 18, up to 21. In the 80s through the 90s, 9 consecutive seasons, the Bruins and the Habs. Gosh, no wonder they hate each other. That's unreal. 9 straight years. And ended up Montreal won 5 of them. Boston won 4. But Boston, I think, won 4 of the last 5 after getting pumped in the first 4. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice, where you can visit Booster Juice today and try the brand new Strawberry Blush smoothie. Sip, blush, and savor as you fall in love with the new flavor. Only at Booster Juice.
The Sports 1440 update.
Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final goes tonight, about an hour away, as the Rangers take on the Panthers down at MSG. Off the ice, Jim Hiller will continue to coach the LA Kings after having the interim tag removed today by Vice President and GM Rob Blake. The Kings were 21-12-1 in the regular season under Hiller after Todd McCullough was fired on February 2nd. Also, Sheldon Keefe, the former Toronto Maple Leafs head coach, is now the new bench boss in New Jersey. Keefe was fired by the Leafs earlier this month after 6 seasons where he won a single playoff series. Was last year against the Tampa Bay Lightning. He posted a record of 212, 97, and 40 as their head coach. In the association, you got the Mavericks and Timberwolves meeting in Game 1 of their Western Conference Final. Tip-off 6:30. Major League Baseball, the Blue Jays in action tonight. Once again, taking on the Chicago White Sox. First pitch in 5 minutes. Right now, Marlins lead the Brewers 1-0 in the second. Also in the second, the Reds and Padres tied at 1 apiece. Giants and Pirates scoreless, as are the Red Sox and Rays. The Rangers lead the Phillies 1-0 in the second. Later tonight, Mariners up against the Yankees. The Braves in Chicago take on the Cubs. Athletics host the Rockies, and the Diamondbacks take on the Dodgers. Earlier today, the Twins victorious over the Nationals 3-2. Guardians doubled up the Mets 6-3. Orioles fall to the Cards 5-4. Angels over the Astros 2-1. And the Royals defeat the Tigers 8-3. BCHL Alberta Division Final. We've got Brooks taking on Sherwood Park. Down in Brooks, Bandits lead that series 3-1 with a chance to wrap up tonight. And in the WNBA, it's the Storm hosting the Fever tip-off 8 o'clock out in Seattle. Caitlin Clark likely to go in this one despite the ankle injury. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and coach and GM of the Edmonton Stingers, Jordan Baker. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And I'm Zach Hyman. And when we're not making juicy, sweet passes or having my goals disallowed, we're working for Legacy Heating and Cooling. Guys used to call me a plumber. And now they call you an AC repairman.
Nice. Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the jingle.
Oh.
Well,
okay. Call Legacy, call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year from qualified installers. Legacy.
She was kind of the one that ended up being in the rivalry. It ended up being the rivalry. Remember as a young lad.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team
Welcome.
reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket
Presented
trucks and
by Play
other
Alberta.
equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
This spring, experience innovation on the road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Right now, lease from 0.99% or save up to $4,000 on select models for qualifying loyal Volvo Cars Edmonton customers. Plus, save $5,000 on all new and demo 2024 XT60 Recharge plug-in hybrid models. Discover why we're Canada's only 13-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Chat online at volvocarsedmonton.com or visit 1205 101st Street Southwest.
Sports 1440 has added another player to our lineup. Tonight, from 6 to 9, check out Turn Sports with your host, Navin Romeric. Edmonton's exclusive home of sports talk is now rolling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Try the new extra large New York style crispy pepperoni pizza only from Papa John's. Get you some of that crispy, curly, cuppy pepperoni on top of an extra large New York style crust pizza with creamy tomato sauce and a 3-cheese blend. This ain't around forever, so walk fast like you're in NYC and order one now. The extra large New York style crispy pepperoni pizza for just $22.99, only at Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some.
Hey Edmonton, ready to power up your projects with unbeatable strength and efficiency? Step into Edmonton Kubota, where our massive inventory meets all your needs. From rugged tractors and loaders to nimble mowers and utility vehicles, we've got the machines that work as hard as you do. And guess what? This month, we're rolling out exclusive deals that'll make your heart race faster than our engines. Drive down to Edmonton Kubota or visit edmontonkubota.com to discover how we can boost your efficiency, productivity, and fun. Edmonton Kubota, powering your passion with every turn of the key.
This spring, the savings continue at the Brick. Take up to 40% off furniture and mattresses, as well as the chance to scratch and save an additional 40% off your purchase. Plus, you'll have the chance to win great prizes, including a $10,000 Brick shopping spree. Find amazing deals on kitchen appliances and save up to $400 on sofas, so you can prepare your ultimate game day snacks and then watch the game in style. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Debt. Most of us have it, but it's the last thing we want to talk about. When we're struggling, we need someone to talk to. We want to be heard without judgment. My name is Parveen Middleton, and I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I talk with people about debt every day. I can help you find the solution to fit your situation. Talking about it is the first step to relief. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
"Wow, great hair."
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
An accident. And it wasn't your fault.
How do I get the compensation and support I need?
How do I get treatment paid for?
Why does an insurance adjuster want to meet with me?
Where do I even start with all this paperwork?
What if I never get better?
Feels like no one has my back.
Robinson LLP does. Visit RobinsonLLP.com to find your injury lawyer. Robinson LLP, the recovery team.
Just after 5 o'clock. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. Sports 1440 Oilers Nation YouTube and Facebook, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, and it's Wednesday. And is there some big opportunities for you tonight at PlayAlberta.ca? 70 mil for the draw on Friday because nobody won. 52 mil tonight in PlayAlberta.ca, and the playoffs continue, so our contest continues. Use the promo code Gregor50 through the playoffs. Get a $50 bet with a $5 deposit. PlayAlberta.ca. Good luck. Gregor, Connor Halley with you. We're going to hear from Darnell Nurse. Also, Adam Henrique, who was taking line rushes today. He's getting closer. Wouldn't 100% commit to game 1, but Chris Knobloch said he'll be in before game 3. So couldn't say for sure if it's going to be tomorrow night. But tomorrow, Saturday, if not Monday, you will see Adam Henrique. And I think that's going to be a big boost to their lineup. I think Adam Henrique, this is a 7-time 20-goal scorer. He scored 24 goals this year. That's a big addition to your team. No question about it, man. We talk about Dallas's depth. Well, Adam Henrique's really good scoring depth. He's a much more proven scorer than McLeod or Fogle or Holloway. Go down, and actually more of a proven goal scorer than even Nugent Hopkins. So that'd be a huge addition to the Oilers lineup. He comes back, and it's just a matter of, how healthy is he? We know that no one's 100% healthy this time of year, but it's an ankle injury, and if it doesn't limit him, then it should be good. The good news about Henrique is he's the player that's good around the net. He'll go to the net, deflections. He's got good hands. Some guys just are more comfortable around the net. Like, we don't see Fogle there. We don't see McLeod there a ton. That's fine. Everybody has different strengths, but that's where Henrique is good, and I think that could be a big addition to try to get the third line a little bit of a pulse offensively. Now, let's get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, as they are celebrating 50 years next month. Unbelievable success story. They want to thank all of their suppliers and partners who have helped to make 50 years successful. GS Construction. As Mark Spector joins us from Dallas. Spec, how you doing?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm guessing you're getting a lot of love from Sweden, Spec. A lot of love from Sweden right now. What was it? More Saskatchewan, less Stockholm.
Yeah, well, there was a lot to that conversation, more than just that.
No, but, I know. You're saying that you basically you're saying you have diversity in your bottom six is essentially what you're saying.
All your players can't be, all your spare players, all the guys you're sports scoring can't all be small players from anywhere, let alone Europe. I think that's, in the end, there's a reason that Vancouver gets 20 shots on goal a night. They don't have enough help. They don't have enough guys getting inside. And it is a very European team and a very Swedish team. And, I'm not going to belabor this, but anyone who reads me and knows my history has read write tomes on what a great player Thomas Holmstrom was and how Nick Jarmelson had the highest pain threshold of maybe any player I've ever seen. And how, thank you. And how Matthias Ekholm is an absolute beast. And, don't paint me as a guy who doesn't like Swedish players, please, because that's 1,000% inaccurate.
Yes, very true. Now, the Edmonton Oilers, they, rare double media day today because they're flying into Dallas. They'll arrive, around like 6:30 Edmonton time, give or take, and they got to do a press conference there tonight to get set against the Stars. Rupe Hintz, Spec, you beat in Dallas. Doesn't sound like he's going to be ready for game 1. And, this guy's a pretty good player, a really good player. And so, when other teams have, an injury to a key guy, you got to try to take advantage of it. When he comes back, that'll make their lineup better. So if you're Edmonton, you got to try to get a win when he's not in.
Oh, hey, listen, this guy's a 6'3" point producing first line center. Like, he is one of the most underrated players in the game. I'm here to tell you. So the fact that he hasn't even practiced with the team yet, it's believed to be a hand injury, Jay. They're calling it upper body. Guys think it's a hand. He's practicing every day because guys with hand injuries can skate, no problem. They want to stay in shape. Nobody can tell you if he's anywhere close to, actually playing in a game with the team or practicing with the team. So you make the point, right? You get a good player like that who can't play, and it's advantage Edmonton for sure.
Yeah, we look at the matchups, and I get everybody talks about Dallas's depth, and it's good. There's no question about it. But the Edmonton Oilers' depth is not Swiss cheese, especially if you get a guy like Henrique back in. But the other thing is the Oilers' top guy, Spec, and I looked this up. So there's been 17 teams in NHL history that have had 4 players with 20 or more points in one playoff year. All 17 made it to the Stanley Cup final. 13 of them won it, and 4 of them lost it. The Edmonton Oilers already have 3 guys with 20 points, and Nugent Hopkins has 16, right? Like, so we can talk about depth, sure, but Dallas does not have the top-end firepower. I'm always surprised how people will rate depth over top end. I'll take top end as long as I get some support, and the Oilers are getting lots of support, right? Like, that 9 goals from the defenseman in the last series. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, your theory that you're saying that people rate depth performance over the top end guys, to me, that's always based on the old, well, the top lines even themselves off. So the guys that win the series for you are the bottom guys. But the only fly in that ointment, my friend, is no top lines or even off the top lines they got here in Edmonton, right? I'm not so sure that this series is going to end and we're going to say, geez, Dallas's top 6 forwards were as productive as Edmonton's. I think Edmonton's good enough up there that, they'll swing that balance. So yeah, I'm with you. Like, I think we all tend to look at our team that we watch every day and find the holes in them. And we tend to, I think it's human nature to dwell on what you don't have. If I'm looking at playing the Edmonton Oilers, I don't care whether I'm Dallas or whoever I am. It's not about whether Warren Fogle puts me down. It's how the hell am I going to handle all the firepower they have up there? And we're not even talking about the power play yet. So I'm with you. I see no reason for the Oilers to walk in here acting like an underdog. They got a ton of firepower that Dallas saw Colorado. Yeah. Well, now they're going to see Edmonton. Let's see how they do this time.
Yeah. And Colorado doesn't have the firepower that Edmonton has right now. They just don't. So they don't have the depth, and their top guys in the playoffs aren't playing like McDavid and Draisaitl are. So they're just not. Now, you mentioned Rupe Hintz. What about Janne Hakanpää? How close is he returning? He's not going to play game 1, but are we going to see him in the series?
I think we're going to see him in the series, but hey, I'm not going to fool you. No one down here is handing out medical reports to the media. News flash.
Mm-hmm.
The guys that follow this team think he's really close and that he's going to play. But at the moment, they're playing 5 guys.
Yep.
Right? They're playing 5 D-men. And that's another one, right? That's another place where maybe you can get after them a little bit because they're 5 real good D-men. But there's a reason the 6 guys playing like 3 or 4 minutes. They clearly don't trust them, right? So, this series gets back to Edmonton. If Hakanpää's not in yet, they're going to work those top 5 guys awfully hard when the Oilers get the matchup.
Mark Spector joins us on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook. The Oilers in Dallas, they will start tomorrow night. Adam Henrique, we'll see how close he is. I think it might be a game time decision for game 1. Chris Knobloch confirming that he's going to play in the series. He didn't want to confirm what game yet he's going to be in. But, to me, it's like a no-brainer. He's going to come in on the 3rd line. I guess the question's going to be, would you move McLeod to wing and have Henrique at center? Or because it's an ankle injury, is the first game you're going to, we'll just play him on the wing. There's a little bit less skating there, and then we'll see how he feels.
Well, there's 2 things here. Who comes out?
I'm guessing Connor Brown.
Yeah, in your world, it's probably Connor Brown, and that's probably fair. So then you're going to take a guy like, let's say you want to start Henrique on left wing. Are you going to take Fogle and put him on the 4th line with Janmark and Carrick? Is that what you're thinking, or do you move Ryan down?
Yeah,
there's a lot of different ways.
I honestly. Adam Henrique is an infinitely better player than Derek Ryan. He's in my 3rd line. If he can dress, then I'm playing him on my 3rd line. Like, otherwise I'm not dressing him. So I play him there, and then I would move Derek Ryan down, or then it becomes Ryan or Brown. I'm not taking Sam Carrick out because I think they've really, he's added a little punch to them physically, and I think that's good.
Yep.
Now Vancouver's not as big on the back end as Dallas isn't as big as Vancouver on the back end. Their series a little bit more skating, not as physical. So, maybe that plays a part in the decision. Brown's the fastest of the 3 for sure. So, we'll see. But here's the one spec that, and I know this would mean taking Ryan out of the lineup, and some people say there's no chance. But I think if you were ever going to get the best out of Corey Perry, you'd get the best out of him playing with Janmark and Carrick because they can cycle the puck. Fogle and McLeod don't cycle the puck. And that's Corey Perry's bread and butter. Now, maybe he's got not much left, and so that's fair. But I do wonder if we see Corey Perry back in the lineup, that's where we see it.
I totally agree with you in terms of I don't think they've been able to use Corey Perry. If they can't put Corey Perry on with guys capable of cycling pucks and holding possession in the offensive zone for a sustained period of time, there's almost no point in playing Corey Perry. You can't play Corey Perry with guys who can't keep it down there because he's unable and not fast enough anymore to skate up and down the ice and chase the play. He's ineffective, and you got way better guys at that game if that's the game you're going to ask him to play. So, yes, I like him on my fourth line with Janmark on the other side, and maybe a guy like Derek Ryan at center or Carrick. Sure, one of those guys that I got to say I want to see Carrick in that role. I don't know, is he a guy that is smart enough to sustain pressure? The cycle is, to sustain a cycle, you got to be a smart player. Like you'll notice. There's guys that aren't good at it. There's guys that can't maintain the puck down there. Evander Kane's not a great puck cycler, man. He wants to get that thing and shoot it. And shooting it in the cycle is akin to losing possession, and that's not what you're trying to do. So whatever you do with Corey, and I'm with you, Jay, I don't mind him with Janmark. I don't mind him with Ryan. I don't mind him with Henrique. I want him with guys that are able to maintain possession. If you can't play with those guys, I'm not so sure you can play Corey Perry.
Yeah, well, that might be fair. The last one for you, Spec. Now they changed the defense pairings after Game 4 because they were struggling Nurse and Ceci, and they put Nurse with Desharnais, and him and Desharnais had way better shot shares. Now they were on the ice for the McLeod goal, which kind of screws their goal against, but obviously neither one had anything wrong to do on that play. Ceci and Kulak weren't on the ice for a goal against. But now Ekholm's minutes were down significantly because he was sick in Game 6. And he actually played the fewest minutes of any defenseman in games 5, 6, and 7 at 5-on-5. And Kulak and Ceci actually, as a pairing, combined the most minutes. It's a short one, but I'll be very interested to see the deployment here of the minutes moving forward. And like Dallas, like they don't have like a dominant number one line, right? Like Wyatt Johnson's a really good player. I don't see them as a dominant number one line, right? Like he's not even a point a game player in the playoffs. They don't have like a dominant one. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. I think their matchups are going to be more like, okay, well, who's their fastest guy? Maybe we want Nurse or Kulak out against them, right? Like I'm kind of curious to see how that goes about, or maybe they don't really care much. They're more so like, hey, we like to play our Fab Five together as much as we can with McDavid's line, with Bouchard and Ekholm. And they'll just roll that out and say, we don't care if it's up against Wyatt Johnson. We don't care if it's up against Matt Duchene, Joe Pavelski, Jason Robertson. Pick a line. We don't care. And they could be right.
Well, I think, you talk about matchups, and I'm kind of with you. I'm more about matching Ekholm and Bouchard with McDavid than I am worried about who they're playing against. And maybe those guys are just a slave to who do I want McDavid's line playing against, and that's who Bouchard and Ekholm are going to play against. Maybe that's how you do it. I agree with you. They got the veteran line with Sagan and Pavelski, and that line is effective, but not near as fast, right? Not near as fast. And I think you got to say that the line you got to shut down that line with Wyatt Johnston and Stankoven and Robertson. I mean, that's I'm going to say to you, if the series ends and those guys haven't scored much, you're probably going to be moving on to the next round. So that to me, I know they're deep, they get their goals from everywhere, but those guys are still the head of the offensive snake around here. And to me, you got to identify who's my pair. Who's my shutdown pair? Normally, that situation, I think we'd probably see whoever Nurse and Darren are going to play against. It's been that way in the past. I think they saw a lot of Miller's line in the Vancouver series. So let's see where Knoblauch goes here. But they're deep, but I'm still worried about their top line. I think if I shut down that top line, I'd probably go some distance to shutting down the Stars, I think.
Well, Spec, enjoy Dallas. And we will chat with you tomorrow on Game 1. We should probably by then know who is in, if Henrique's going to go or not. And we'll go from there. Should be fun.
I'll be at the skate tomorrow. If you guys need anything, let me know.
All right. There you go. That's
all right. Thanks, Jake.
Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. The Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction now. We are going to hear from Darnell Nurse, Adam Henrique. Adam Henrique was just like you. He was a fan of Game 7. He didn't like the feeling. You know how you get nervous? This is a guy who's on the team, but you're watching the game either up in the press box or down in the room. And at that point, you're as helpless as every other fan. Some interesting thoughts from Henrique on what it was like, because that's the first time in his life he's ever watched a Game 7 that he was a part of a team as a fan. He played in a Game 7 back in 2012, actually scored 2 goals, including the game winner. And he goes, dude, I'll tell you right now, I was not nearly as nervous or stressful as when you're just watching as a fan. So if you get stressed, now you can understand. So do the players who aren't playing. It can be brutal at times. We'll get to that. Coach and GM next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
At McDonald's, we know summer can go by quickly, so make the most of all the park hangs, beach days, sunsets, and festivals. Whew. With a $2 plus tax sundae or snack-sized milkshake, or an app-exclusive $1 plus tax soft serve cone. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada, prices exclude delivery. App download and registration required.
Join Kidsport Edmonton's Bids for Kids, presented by GS Construction, June 19th, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Bell in Scona. Celebrate 29 years of Kidsport with 90s attire and courage. Tickets are $75, including entry into a mountain getaway draw. Enjoy a night of sports talk, appetizers and bevies, silent auction, 50/50, and a beer tree raffle. All funds raised support local Kidsport Kids registration fees. Visit kidsportbidsforkids.com for tickets. Event is 18+.
Your love for strawberries is very passionate, you say. Just wait till you get your next taste of Booster Juice. The new Strawberry Blush smoothie made with strawberries, bananas, vanilla oat, and vanilla frozen yogurt will make you fall in love. And there's no tea like the Strawberry Serenity Teaser, a blend of strawberry juice, green tea, and honey. And for a tasty treat to pair perfectly with your berry obsession, the Strawberries and Cream Booster Ball has returned like your favorite dream. Visit a Booster Juice near you today or download the Booster Rewards app.
Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 or more. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Book online today. I can tell by the look on your face you're thinking about it.
Catch the Edmonton Stingers basketball home opener on June 2nd at the Edmonton Expo Center. Enjoy affordable family fun with a $5 food and drink menu and free parking. Tickets start at just $20. Visit thestingers.ca/tickets.
What's cracking at Cattail? Maybe you've got the next tiger on your hands. Cattail Crossing offers young golfers Operation 36, a program to improve their growing skill set with other golfers their age. To register, email proshop@cattailcrossing.ca.
Sports 1440 has added another player to our lineup. Tonight, from 6 to 9, check out Turn Sports with your host, Navin Romerick. Edmonton's exclusive home of sports talk is now rolling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Your business is unique. It has its own challenges and its own risks. Does your commercial insurance reflect that? At High Street Insurance, we believe in a personalized approach. As an independent broker, we take the time to create a partnership with you. We get to know your business and ensure that your insurance coverage is specifically designed to protect what matters to you. Insurance that's dependable, transparent, and tailored to suit your unique needs. Good protection starts with understanding you. Reach out to us today at highstreetinsurance.com.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada, with sports and entertainment properties including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
This spring, the savings continue at the Brick. Take up to 40% off furniture and mattresses, as well as the chance to scratch and save up to an additional 40% off your purchase. Plus, you'll have the chance to win great prizes, including a $10,000 Brick shopping spree. Find amazing deals on kitchen appliances and save up to $400 on sofas, so you can prepare your ultimate game day snack and then watch the game in style. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Over a calm, glassy lake, you cast your line. Your new Toyota sits majestically by the water's edge. A loon calls in the distance. Or a duck.
Anyways, one thing's for sure. This moment isn't just a dream. It's an invitation to adventure. So stop dreaming. Red Tag Days are on at Toyota. For a limited time, lease a 2024 Tundra 4x4 Double Cab SR5 from $164 weekly for 60 months at 6.99% with $6,899 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
The Egyptians swallowed a mixture of iron oxide and animal fat. The ancient Greeks made a paste out of pigeon droppings and horseradish. The Romans rubbed ashes and compost on their heads. Mankind has struggled with baldness since the beginning of time, but you don't have to struggle for another day. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott, and I've helped thousands of men and women get their hair back. Want to discuss all the modern options available? Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Okay, I'll just hold on. We'll get on Jason very quickly. Thank you.
5:30. Welcome back. The Eastern Conference final will be getting going about 20 minutes after the conclusion of our show. Of course, order game tomorrow, in case you're wondering. Be there a little bit earlier from now on. It'll be, they say 6:30 broadcast, which means a 6:50 puck drop. But then Saturday will be 6:20. And then next Monday and Wednesday in Edmonton will also be a 6:30 broadcast, 6:50 puck drop. So better for the kids. Better for anybody who wants to not have to stay up as late. Right? If you lose, it gives you a little bit more time to go for a walk to calm yourself down. Normally how it works. Our next guest probably didn't need a walk. I would say was very happy to start the season with a fairly convincing win on the road, 97-79. We are joined by the head coach and GM of the Edmonton Stingers. They kicked off their season last night in Calgary as Jordan Baker joins us. Jordan, welcome to the show. Congrats on win number 1 in the dual role. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Must have been all that great GMing in the offseason that gets you to a 1-0 start like that.
Well, I'm not sure about that. It's still early, but yeah, we'll take any win at this point of the season. Our training camp's only 8 days long, so trying to get everyone on the same page is a tall task. But yeah, guys played well last night, and hoping to continue the momentum into next week.
When you look at, for you, obviously you were coaching last year, and even when you're the coach, I'm sure you're working with Steve Sir and such. But what was being the biggest challenge for you taking on the GM role?
I think, you have a plan for what the roster should look like, or you'd hope, you hope it looks like. And then, we had a couple of guys that we signed get injured in their seasons overseas, so weren't able to join us. Now you got to pivot and try to find new players and mix things around and change up roles that you had guys pinned into. So I think the most challenging thing is being able to be flexible and to have a plan B, C, D, and E in order to, still have a successful start to the season. And hopefully, everyone stays healthy and we're able to carry this group all the way through.
You look at your team, your starters, you had, really balanced scoring across the board. You guys put up 97. Your top scorer only had 17 points. You had 3 guys come off the bench in double digits in Ben Henrique, Peter McNeely, and Michael Nuga. So do you feel you have a much deeper bench this year than last?
I think so. I mean, last year we still had, 4 or 5 guys average in double figures. So that's the way we want to play the game is balanced and sharing the basketball. So, any given night, there's a guy that can get 20, and that comes from, both our starting group and guys we bring in off the bench. We got lots of confidence in everybody that we put on the floor, and, guys are still feeling things out, and I'm still trying to determine what lineups work best. So, we were glad that guys came to play yesterday, and it was a huge crowd at the Saddle Dome. So it was great to see guys show out on national television.
I noticed Nick Hornsby played the most by quite a bit on your roster. You look at him as kind of your go-to guy, or is that just the circumstances for the game?
Yeah, I just think it was, Nick does lots of things that maybe don't show up on the box score. So, we needed him out on the floor to sort of settle guys down and give us what we needed on the defensive glass. So, that number could be beside anybody's name on any given night. Nick just did a good job for us, and we had some foul trouble, and that we had to slide him to play the center position for a couple minutes where he would usually get a rest on the bench. So yeah, just circumstances of the night. I mean, Nick's going to play lots for us over the course of the season, but I don't think he's in a spot where we say, well, you got to play 35 plus every night. And we've got some guys coming in that can sort of alleviate that load for him as well, that haven't arrived with the team yet.
Jordan Baker, head coach and GM of the Edmonton Stingers, joins us. And Jordan, you mentioned foul trouble. One of those guys was Brody Clark. He was 4 for 4 from the floor last night, and but only played 60 minutes. Kind of just got in foul trouble early and just never really got into a rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, and that's going to happen. First game of the season, there's lots of adrenaline pumping and guys wanting to make plays for us. So he got caught on the butt end of a couple of tough calls, and unfortunately. Or fortunately for us, we got a guy like Ben who can step into that spot and played very well in his absence.
Well, I was just going to say, it's not the best situation, but you mentioned the short training camp, an opportunity to maybe see more of cricket than you were planning on. And in the minutes he played, 15 points in 20 minutes, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big piece for us. Especially it being his first professional game. Certainly didn't show any sort of nerves or being outside of his element. He played hard, he played well, and gave us a couple buckets down the stretch to help close things out.
Looking ahead now, you got a week off. Your next game is next Wednesday. You play back-to-back Wednesday and Thursday. Kind of, what do you take from this game? You mentioned such a short training camp that you can use from that game. Now, can you implement more things, or is it just a matter of, okay, now let's just let's get more comfortable with what we want to run rather than try to bring in more stuff?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. I think, now that we have some film of ourselves, we can watch a little bit and say, hey, these are some of the things we need to clean up on, some of the things that we've been talking about all training camp long, that we now have, some visual evidence of how things need to be done, and some visual evidence about how, we're trying to clean up some stuff. So, we're going to continue to grow and continue to implement some new things so that, we can be firing on all cylinders when we head out to Ottawa. But there's lots to do, and it's great to now have some film on ourselves to be able to show the guys some teaching points.
Well, Jordan, you got 2 more road games before you have the home opener on the 2nd here in Edmonton, which I'm sure will be probably sold out crowd. Really good crowds last year supporting the team. I don't know if it's too early, but the Blackjacks haven't played. You mentioned, though, that you have some other guys that might be joining your team. When do you expect them in, and are there any names you can share with us?
Yeah, we had a guy. He was in uniform yesterday, but didn't step on the floor because he hadn't practiced with us, and it just it's not fair to throw a guy into the fire without having any sort of practice reps. So we have a Lithuanian player, Mindaugas Kasinas, who's going to be joining us. That's public knowledge. We just no one's seen him in action, but he's a guy who brings he's played in some of the best leagues in the world outside of the NBA. So having him come in as a 6'8" guy who can give us some size on the wing and can slide into that power forward position, he's a guy that we're excited to see what he brings to the table for us.
Awesome. Well, Jordan, continued success. Hopefully, when you return home, you're undefeated for your home opener. Appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
There you go. That's Jordan Baker, head coach and GM of the Stingers. Big win in Calgary last night. Huge crowd, by the way, in the Saddle Dome, which is outstanding. If you've never been to a Stingers game, I highly, highly recommend it. It is great family fun, super affordable. And if you like to have a beverage, oh my God, it's unreal. $5, dude. Take it all day long. Good food. Popcorn's cheap. Chicken wings are cheap. Chicken fingers. But the atmosphere is fantastic. They make it a lot of fun. So if you got some kids who are basketball fans or just sports fans, there's always lots of stuff going on outside in the parking lot before the game. So I'd highly recommend it. June 2nd, that'll be the home opener for the Stingers. Are on the road next Wednesday and Thursday. We'll come back and we'll hear from Nurse, Henrique, and Knobloch on the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The full-service provider of heavy haul transportation and rigging at the highest level. Next Gen Transportation.
We're developing new and innovative ways to transport oversized and overweight equipment to remote and challenging locations.
Our Next Gen team leads with a wealth of experience and expertise. But most importantly, we put safety first, so everyone gets home safely.
We also take great pride in supporting our local community programs and teams. Good luck to everyone this season and in the year ahead.
Visit nextgentransportation.com.
This spring, experience innovation on the road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Right now, lease from 0.99% or save up to $4,000 on select models for qualifying loyal Volvo Cars Edmonton customers. Plus, save $5,000 on all new and demo 2024 XC60 Recharge plug-in hybrid models. Discover why we're Canada's only 13-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Chat online at volvocarsedmonton.com or visit 1205 101st Street Southwest.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
What's cracking at Cattail? Their men's league. Play 18 holes for 18 weeks on Tuesdays from 2 to 6 p.m. Then complete the day and head to Out of Bounds. Recently ranked one of Canada's top 10 in fine dining restaurants. For details, visit cattailcrossing.ca.
CW Eves Troughing is busy. That's why they're looking for experienced troughers to run one of their trucks. To get paid top rates, contact CW Eves Troughing at 780-435-1492 or email info@cweves.com.
The Adventure Calls event is on at GMC. Get the 2024 Sierra 1500 Elevation at 0% financing for up to 60 months. Plus, eligible Costco members can receive a $1,200 bonus on select trucks. With Sierra's available 5.3-liter V8 engine plus more cargo bed volume than any competitor, you'll have everything you need to take on any project this season, like building a brand new doghouse. That's a lot of wood. How big is this dog? Visit your local GMC dealer for details.
Hey, Eddie Steele here. If you know me, you know I'm motivated. And what motivates me? Winning? Been there, done that. What motivates me is the smell of fresh baked goodness, the kind you find at Bonton Bakery. As soon as you walk into Bonton, you're greeted with a big smile, a warm welcome, and the aroma. So good. The showcase of their baked goods always means trouble for me, not just because of the selection, but the excellent fresh ingredients. That's Bonton Bakery, 8720 149th Street. Open 9 to 5, Tuesday to Saturday.
Introducing the Female Super League. Female hockey is on the rise with more women playing the game than ever. Join us as we pave the way for the future of women's hockey. The FSL is more than a game. It's a movement and an experience for the motivated female athlete. Teams will compete in a showcase-style format featuring consistent interprovincial competition. Come be part of the journey as the 2024-25 season unveils a 12U division, as well as the launch of a groundbreaking progressive body-checking 14U division. For more information, visit FemaleSuperLeague.com.
We're the heart of Alberta's economy. The coffee shops and construction companies, the ag operations, oil field services, and retail stores. They're the small and medium-sized businesses that keep money moving and folks working in our rural communities. At Vision Credit Union, we're proud to serve businesses like these with personalized support, common sense lending policies, and products that work with life here. Let Vision Credit Union help your company get down to business. Learn how at visioncu.ca.
Elevate your drive with spectacular savings at Windermere Chrysler. Get 10% off the rugged 2024 Ram 1500, the luxurious Grand Cherokee, or the versatile Durango. Thinking bigger? Opt for a heavy-duty truck and enjoy a no-charge diesel upgrade. Or take advantage of no payments for 90 days on select 2024s. Visit us today and explore these offers in our breathtaking new showroom. The choice is clear.
It's Windermere.
Visit windermeredodge.ca.
$44. Man, it's a great time of year. Who isn't fired up? You're into the Final Four of the National Hockey League playoffs, Final Four in the NBA. You have Memorial Cup starting on Friday. If you're a CFL fan, you had preseason. The Elks are actually a preseason game this afternoon, on Saturday afternoon, which we got this text coming in. Hey, guys, as a Elks season ticket holder, I'm curious why they wouldn't have a watch party. How many people are going to want to go to that exhibition game and then not rush home early? Well, the game starts at 2, though. And puck drop is until 6:20. I don't know if you would need it. Like now, I guess maybe if you're coming from out of town, but that preseason game should be done at 5:15 at the latest. I think you got an hour to get home. That should be decent, I would think, for most. Now, some might say I'm not doing it, and that's totally fine. But yeah, I don't know if that would entice enough people. It's an opportunity to say, hey, we could do it in the Jackie Parker room. Now that would make sense. I wouldn't do it on the big screen, but in the Jackie Parker room, lots of people just like to get together and watch it. So I don't know. Maybe ask Evan Dom, con man, if that's going on. I don't think it'd be that hard. Last minute to announce that. Could do it. The Jackie Parker room would be fun.
Free idea.
Yeah. But I don't think he'd put it on the big screen. And also, I think a lot of people can go and then still get home in time for the game, right? Because remember, it's 6:20 puck drop for 2:00 kickoff for the preseason game. Now, let's get to the oil report. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer at legacyheating.ca. And the Edmonton Oilers, they've been here before. 2 years ago, in fact. And, the Stars were here last year. Panthers were here last year. The Rangers were here in 2022. So you got 4 teams who have all been in the conference final at least once in the last 2 years. So I think experience, I'm not sure it's going to be a factor, but what about the comfort level? Darnell Nurse talked about that and just, having another experience, and do they feel better suited this time?
Yeah, I mean, every experience is a little bit different. I think with the experience of having gone through it once, obviously there's excitement. There's also, a level of just want to play and not really worry about anything else. So I think the excitement level is definitely there, but I think probably a calmer group going into this.
When you look at the effort you guys put together defensively in game 6 and 7, what were the contributing factors to that, and how do you kind of look to make sure that transitions into game 1?
I think just our attention to detail in the D zone, keeping things to the outside, and then obviously our track game and being above the forwards there in game 6 and 7, that was huge. It allowed us to maintain good gaps and then obviously defend better. So it's got to be paramount because we're playing against a really good team here in Dallas, and a team that has a lot of offensive weapons and can make you pay if you're not detailed in your defensive game. So it's going to be a really good test.
What did you see the difference in their power play than what you saw? Like Vancouver, obviously you guys did a great job of just limiting the zone entry specifically. Dallas is a little bit better at getting in the zone. What challenges did they present once they're set up that's maybe different than Vancouver?
Yeah, a lot of big strong bodies down in front of the net that are good at getting tips and sticks on pucks. So it's and then the same on the flanks and up top. A lot of dynamic players, so they present a lot of different challenges. And then for us as a PK, I think we just got to, maintain our confidence and our strength as a group and just go and play to our strengths.
They shoot more. Heisman's got 3 power play goals, and he just shoots more on their power play than a lot of teams on the point. How does that change? Like can you box out as much on a penalty kill when usually you have one less guy? How do you approach that on a team that's a little bit more of a shoot from distance?
No, every situation presents different opportunities. I think it's just more reading and reacting. Sometimes the box out's there, sometimes it's getting in the lane in front of the puck. So it's you don't go in with a script. You gotta just be instinctful out there, and I think that's what makes our kill good when we are good is just playing off instinct and not trying to script too much.
Darnell, how do you handle Pavelski in front of the net the way he tips the puck? Is it?
Yeah, no, it's obviously tough. He's had so much success in this league for so long, because his ability to tip the puck, and even when it seems like he's boxed out, he's able to get sticks on pucks. So another one of those things with each opportunity and each different situation, there's got to be a different way to play it.
Now, 2 years ago, you're pretty banged up in that conference final. Same with Leon. I assume you're at least somewhat healthier this year. As an individual, do you notice a difference and you just feel more confident knowing that you're able to play to your capabilities and you don't have a real nagging injury? How does that change maybe even your mindset or approach to the series?
Just wanting to get to capabilities and play the capabilities, not worry about anything else. Anytime you're going through things with the injury or whatnot, there's always a second thought or in the back of your mind that playing throughout the series. But when you're not dealing with that, you just go out there and play free and try and maximize your capabilities and play the best you can.
Well, I still think Nurse I think he's got a nagging injury, but nothing like it was in 2022. Same as Leon Draisaitl, right? Like Leon Draisaitl, he had 6 points in that 2022 4-game loss to the Avs, but no goals. He comes in a lot healthier right now. That'll be a big factor for the Oilers in the conference final. They got nicked up, but so do the Stars. Everybody's got, some wear and tear on them. I do think Adam Henrique coming back, whether it's on Thursday or Saturday or at the latest Monday, will be a big boost for the Oilers. You're getting a 24 goal scorer into your lineup, guy who's done it 7 times. And he just did it this year. So it's not like, no offense, Corey Perry's done it many times, but that was, kind of in the past. Henrique did it this year. And we'll see coming off the injury how he feels, but if he's able to, be as productive as you would think he could be, I think that's a big boost for the Oilers. You get more guys who can play at a high level. You got a better chance. And here's Adam Henrique just talking. We won't get to Henrique. All right, we'll get to Henrique tomorrow. All right. I like that. We'll save one little teaser for you. We'll get one, though, on Knobloch on where he would slot Henrique in the lineup when he's ready.
No, right now, obviously, he adds a lot to our team, whether that helps us with our second unit power play, penalty kill, or probably more importantly, it's a little secondary scoring. And, whether we put him up on top 2 lines, he spent time with Leo, he spent time with Connor, or he helps out with the secondary scoring on 3rd or 4th lines. It probably depends on what we need at the moment. And it'd be a nice addition when he is ready. And unfortunately for us, he hasn't played for a while, but when we do have him in the lineup, he'll definitely give us a little push.
On behalf of Connor Halley, I'm Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Turn Sports is up next. Lots of basketball talk. Of course, a little bit more on the Oilers and more, as they say. And hey, I don't know if this is good news or not for Oilers fans, but they're playing. They got good. They made good time. Any dad out there will tell you, I made good time. It's unreal. Well, they made good time. They're into Dallas earlier, so they'll do their press conference right away if you want to watch it. Here's the Common Sports 1440 update brought to you by High Street Insurance, driven by people, not products. They are people taking care of people for 10 years, started right here in Edmonton. They've had great success, expand across the country, but home operated, support local. Go to highstreetinsurance.com. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
We're about 15 minutes away from puck drop. Rangers-Panthers being game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final down at MSG in the association. At 6:30, the Timberwolves and Mavericks meeting in game 1 of their Western Conference Final series. Major League Baseball, the Blue Jays in action. Great start. They lead the White Sox 7-0 in the top of the 3rd. Elsewhere, Yankees lead the Mariners 2-0. Rays have a 3-0 lead over the Red Sox, and the Phillies lead the Rangers 6-2. Still to come tonight, Rockies take on the Athletics, and the Dodgers host the Diamondbacks. Earlier today, Guardians knocked off the Mets 6-3. Twins over the Nationals 3-2, and the Angels defeat the Astros 2-1. BCHL Alberta Division final. You got Sherwood Park Crusaders down in Brooks taking on the Bandits. Bandits lead that series 3-1. Puck drop just after 7 o'clock. And in the WNBA, the Storm taking on the Fever down in Seattle. Caitlin Clark has an ankle injury, likely to go in this one. That's going to do it for us here at the Jason Gregor Show. Up next, it is Turn Sports. I'm Connor Halley.